So you're going to order the big black one?
Yeah, the double-ended.
Really?
Yes.
That's pretty open-minded because...
Oh, hey,
shit.
What's going on, everyone?
Wow, that was...
Welcome back to another Bangkok Strange live stream. We've been away on hiatus for over a month.
Have you seen the size of my hiatus?
It's a large hiatus.
I'm going to have to get that cinched. I may have to cinch it.
You got to tie it back. I know a guy who can show you the technique.
I could lance it.
Yeah.
I mean...
If you had to.
If I had to, I'd rather cinch it.
How's the back?
So, it feels better.
Okay.
And the cool part is, and thank you for asking, by the way, but every single time you've asked me, now that I think about it, it's been better, a little bit better each time.
I don't know if originally that was the case.
No, at first it was like, I can't even spell back.
You're like, I went to the chiropractor, now I can't move.
It was, I will tell you though, like regular chiropractors, you know, moving, drop table, all that. The ones here are excellent.
Yeah.
Easily twice the cost that I'm paying in San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
Here.
Oh, it's more here.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, it's a niche thing, you know, and it's funny. Outside of America, most countries don't consider chiropractors medical practitioners.
You can get your doctor of chiropractor here as well. I didn't realize that.
Oh, really?
I thought it was only like they're gonna like yank it up from the you know, from the U.S.
Gosh, I thought so too.
I just was
because I know in England they don't have doctor of chiropractor. You have to go to the U.S.
Well, in England, you know, I mean, they talk funny to begin with.
That's true. They don't speak English, which is weird. Let me run through the chat real quick. We got Joe.
There's people. Wait, Joe's here?
He was there 45. He was there at 8 a.m.
Have you seen his new comments on YouTube videos?
No.
So Joe, who I love you, Joe. But here's what's awesome, and I know you've noticed this about Joe. When he watches a YouTube video, he comments as he comments as the video. I love that. Now, for me at least, he taken to like one comment. He separates all the comments by double flashes. It's so efficient. I'm like, oh, he was watching it 4 minutes and then 9 minutes. He's so great.
We got Hike in the audience. How's it going, Hike?
Dude, he's all about Spanish lately.
Hold on, yeah.
It's just fucking love.
He's trying to get some Latina ladies down in Arkansas there.
Well, Alabama. Yeah.
Attract the population. Token Nomad, what's going on, brother? We got Stuck in Florida.
Hey, Stuck. Good to see you, man.
Who got Token, Joe, McGon. How's it going, brother? Hey, did you see the Gregors, did you see the hospital thing I sent you on Facebook? We'll talk about that today as well.
Okay.
We have a few things. Minority Nomad he was here pinging me in a Eric and Minority Nomad was already pinging me. He's like, you're late. I'm like, no, this is Bangkok Strange time. We're right on time.
So first time I meet Eric, one of the first topics outside of was pizza.
Yeah.
Right. So then he takes me to this pizza place and I'm like, wow, this is like really, really good pizza. He then recently took me to that noodle place on Ekamai.
World's Greatest or something like that.
It was so good. I'm at the point where the only data I think I'm ever going to get from Eric is for excellent like not average, like excellent food recommendations.
He's actually getting ready to start up a whole new content series where he's just doing like food visits.
Nice.
And if you follow Eric's Instagram, Minority Nomad on Instagram,
I do.
Yeah, he does he's doing Cooking with Eric.
Oh, so he's preparing them or eating with Eric?
He's preparing them, like cooking is.
Yeah. See, I outsourced that.
He was doing a whole for a while. He had a whole air fryer series.
Where really?
Where air fryer is really just a mini convection oven.
Did he ever use the phrase "set it and forget it"?
No, not yet.
Thank fucking God. If he goes down that road, dude, it is over. I will like pour noodles on top of him if he goes down that thing.
So it is kind of funny though. Set it and forget it. Was it Ron Popeil? Is that the guy's name?
No, I believe Set It and Forget It was Michael. What's his name? The fryer.
No, I thought it was.
What was
Ron
that boxer?
Popeil. Oh, that's George Foreman.
Yeah. Isn't the George Foreman grill Set It and Forget It?
No, it's Knock Out the Fat.
Oh, okay. So it's Ronco.
Yeah, Ronco.
Yeah, that's great.
I remember Ronco had a device that would let you scramble your egg in the shell.
That guy came up with so many useless, but incredibly desirable kitchen things. Yeah. Was it just kitchen or was it household in general?
I only remember kitchen stuff. Who knows though? Like I remember the rotisserie. I remember the thing that scrambled the egg in the shell. Because who wants to waste time scrambling the eggs?
Who wants to
put them in the bowl? You want them pre-scrambled.
Absolutely, yeah. That's why I shake my chickens.
Absolutely.
In that way that I do. Yeah.
So, I got some useful information for guys on immigration stuff for those of you guys who are here because I had a 90-day issue recently.
Okay, well, I'll tell you my 90-day experience. Awesome, cool. I didn't know you recently did it.
So I do mine online.
Yeah, because we were recently talking about it. Remember, I didn't use.
Yeah, so I was doing my final visa thing, finalizing my visa yesterday, and so that's how this came.
Because you're changing, right?
No, I'm just renewing. And
oh, really?
I had to go back for I did my document check and just had to go back to get the stamp.
Okay, so 1 year.
And so my guy went, got the stamp, and he calls. He's like, "Hey," he calls Jib. He's like, "Hey, Dana never did a 90-day." And she's like, "What?" She's like, "No, it's on the calendar. I'm pretty sure he did it." So she's like, "Hey, Tom said they can't find you 90-day." I'm like, "Well, I definitely did it." So I jump on my email, and I've been doing it online. You get an email back that says it's approved, and the email says
immediately or like within a couple
days.
Yeah, okay.
You get an immediate email to say you've submitted.
Yeah. But then approval.
But then the approval comes like 4 or 5 days later.
Okay.
And so
PDF.
They said no. They just send you a link.
Oh, okay.
And it says to check the status, click here.
Got it.
I've never clicked it.
You're just like, oh, it's always going to be
approved.
Yeah.
If, check the status, no big deal.
Right.
So they can't find it. So I click that link and it takes you to another page. Oh, it takes you back to the page where you have to go for your status. So I check status.
Yep.
Enter my passport information because I don't have the reference number anymore.
Okay, but still you can log in.
Yeah. And so it takes me to a page that then you have to it says it's approved and then click this link to see your next appointment.
Okay, yeah, which will be 90 days from
So I click that link to see my next appointment and it gives me a sheet I have to print and keep in my passport according to the sheet.
I get right. That's part of the 90-day report process. You have to keep something in your passport that tells you the next time.
Yeah, but so I never knew you had to go through this whole the links don't tell you to go through this step.
Oh, I see.
So when I was doing it online, I just thought that was null and void.
You didn't have a physical paper receipt in your passport ever?
No, I used to just keep I used to print out the thing that I submitted it and then would just keep that.
But never the receipt.
But the receipt is like you have to go to your status page and look at your next date and then print that.
Okay. And
so it's this whole step that doesn't make it, nothing tells you go to this link to print this and keep it in your passport.
Okay.
You have to go check status.
Got it.
Check status and then look at the next date and then it tells you that you'll print this and keep it.
Okay.
So just if you do it online, just know that the systems aren't linked and that you have to actually have you have to go and print it. So just for you guys as a FYI, I don't know if I'm the only idiot who didn't know that. It's very possible.
Well, you're not an idiot.
It doesn't seem like it's not a very natural progression to follow these links.
Well, as an American, reporting to the government every 90 days where you are isn't natural at all.
True. Well, when you're in a foreign country, who knows? But
that's too.
So, but I mean, just the link, the verbiage on the links. Is
sure, right.
Once I see Jib in the comments. Hey, Jib, babe.
Wait, Jib or Tit? Never mind.
Jib.
You know what's funny? You know how you Google your friends?
Yeah.
I Googled her by her first name.
Yeah.
You are not going to believe the video data that I was provided. Changed my life.
All different.
My right arm muscle is significantly thicker now because of the data that I have.
Babe, there is a package on the stool next to my desk from Mike. Can you bring that upstairs? That's from Joe, and I want Mike's to open that on air.
Okay. Did you do an unboxing of his package?
I did.
You just didn't do my portion.
No, we left it inside.
Oh, because I wasn't able to watch that.
Actually, I accidentally pulled yours out a little bit. I gave it to Jib, and Jib pulls the piece out. And I'm like, no, stick it back in.
Okay, fair enough.
Joe was very specific. Don't open Mike's.
Oh, dude, I'm all excited now. This is freaking great. Joe, I mean, okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Joe.
That's amazing. I can't even imagine the friggin' shipping.
Yeah, well, and you shipped it USPS, so maybe it wasn't horrible. And for some reason, it was in like Puerto Rico at one point, or so it was in Jamaica or Puerto Rico when he sent me the tracking.
Really?
Yeah, it was a weird route.
Where does Joe live? Oh, yeah, to Tampa, right?
Tampa, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so from Florida, wouldn't it go Florida, Long Beach, and then Long Beach over the Pacific on a plane?
To like to like Germany or something, probably, or Singapore.
Well, no, yeah. Hong Kong. No, yeah, maybe because it's Southeast Asia.
A lot of packages stop in Germany.
Over the Atlantic?
Yeah,
that's retarded.
Yeah. So here's yours.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, and the Jib's,
are you still?
She's giving Mike the sugar daddy.
I was going to say, is that a sugar daddy? Did you just watch the movie Looking for Mr. Goodbar?
No, Joe sent the sugar daddies.
Okay, wait a minute. So this is just my portion?
Yes.
So he sent me something to you just in its own envelope? He didn't send one?
So all the other stuff was in there as well.
Oh, got it. I got it. Okay, so $25 in shipping. Is this me?
Yeah.
Dude, that's fucking awesome.
Hold it up. Let everyone see.
Oh my God, this is so cool.
Hey, Chris is here. What's going on, man?
I have been. Oh, there's more. Oh, wait, there's more.
Hey, Chris.
Hope your back is better. Oh, he sent this recently. Thank you, Joe.
He sent it just before Xmas.
This is for your YouTube. Live your ass off at Bangkok Strange. Hope I like it, Joe. That's an understatement. I literally adore this. That is so cool. And what's neat? Thank you, Jib. What's neat is that I believe this is actually real enough where I can use it and reuse it.
Probably.
I believe that I can.
It looks pretty sturdy.
Chalk, right? Is like as long as the standard like.
Well, this
chalk.
is wood. I don't know if chalk. It doesn't feel like chalk paint.
Yeah, because it's more of like a blackboard from a classroom that they normally use.
Yeah, it's a real slate.
You see it? Yeah, right.
They used to be. Probably now it's like acrylic and they use marker.
That's so rad, dude. That's so rad. Joe, thank you, man. I mean, you and I would probably have walked by something like this in the window at some shop in Terminal 21, for example. And we would, never would have. Joe, here's why this means a lot to me. I love people. They're my favorite types of humans. But the point is that I am not a gift giver. You've heard of like the 5 love languages, like spending time, gift giving, talking. I'm not a gift giver. So when I get a gift from somebody, it like absolutely blows me away because the thought process, I don't even engage in that. It's not my default setting. So I really, really appreciate. What did you get?
They sent us hot sauce. And
sriracha?
No, like
like from 20 kilometers away.
It's called Dr. Buttburn.
Dr. Buttburn?
Yeah.
Is that where the original "you just got butt hurt" phrase came from?
Yeah, it's spicy, but it wasn't spicy in, not so spicy out. And then he sent Jib the sugar daddies. I think it's kind of like a joke.
Where can you even buy those, man?
I didn't even know there was still a thing.
Joe, you want to do you have chalk? I was thinking grease pencil, but
I have Taylor's chalk, but I don't know if it'll if it's the type
Taylor's chalk is like the soap. It's like a wedge, right?
That's Taylor's marker.
Okay.
There's actually Taylor's chalk, but it's
like a stick.
It's very powdery because it's supposed to come off easily.
Yeah, because I could. All right. Yeah. Well, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm probably like put a clear, right? Yeah. And then that way it'll, because if I rub this enough, this white paint will probably come off if I do that. Yeah. Or I could just do the back of it. And just LMAO, baby.
You can just write on there once and like put something, live my ass off.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, on a daily basis, I do live my ass off. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
I came up with it the other day.
Did you? So I'm actually thinking about rebranding my channel, changing from my name to something else.
So I highly recommend that only because of the statement you made recently, which is I lose 5 subs every single day.
Well, now I'm like on an upward trajectory again.
But I mean, because you're like, but see, that's the thing, right? I mean, it's like, it's always Dana Bluen.
Yeah.
But every time, and trust me, my ego wants to call everything I own the Somerville.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've found that like having the name to it, right? I mean, I just think that that's really cool. What do you have like 4,500 subs, 5,000 subs, something like that?
Yeah, like 45.
Good for you. Yeah. How many views you get?
Right now, like a
couple hundred
a day.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's like on older videos. So I was actually talking with Josh Bourbon Baird about this, and so I'm thinking I'm going to rename the channel Idea Studio.
Okay.
And so like there's a couple like smaller channels out there called Idea Studio that haven't posted anything in years. And so I bought
got it.
I bought the domain ideastudio.xyz.
XYZ is very cool.
Yeah. And obviously I did like all the like really good domains for ideas like .com, .co, .io all taken.
Who's Idea Studio right now?
No one uses the domain. They're just all parked. Or they're premium, like $8,000.
Gay Earth.
Yeah.
GayEarth.com. Some guy's parking it.
Yeah.
Anyone who parks Gay Earth has to be gay.
I tell you, I've parked a lot of domains over the years, made some money on a few.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, because if all else fails, BKK.FM.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sell that motherfucker in like 20 years for $8,000.
I sold actually back in like the early 2000s. I sold AskPie.com and 69it.com.
Yeah, I did that too
for legit money.
I had HotLivePorno.com,
and most recently I sold SV.media.
SV. Wow.
Yeah.
2 letters.
Yeah,
a lot of TLDs won't allow you 2 letter.
Well, the .media they did.
Oh, yeah, so they allow single character.
I don't know. I was surprised I found SV.media. It was like, .media I think is like $60 a year. to register. So I had the .media, and I was, because we had Supervillain Media was Supervillain Media Group. I ended up going with the SVMG.
It's not Dapper Villains Media?
No, Supervillain Media.
So walk me through sort of like the umbrella of your companies. Like, is there a...
So Supervillain Media Group is the overall entity.
Right, but Supervillain... Oh, everything? Even the fabric and even this...
So underneath that, we have Supervillain Design Studios.
Okay, got it.
Which is the entity that we do all the design with. Dapper Villains falls under that.
Okay.
And then there's some other like production stuff that falls under Supervillain Media Group.
Oh, okay, nice.
So svmg.io is the media group's domain.
IO is traditionally what? Startups or?
So it's Indian Ocean.
No, right? I understand, but I mean,
use the input output, and so a lot of people use it for digital stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of altcoin companies were using IO for a while, right?
Yeah, so I just really park it there. I don't do anything with the media group unless I have like existing clients. I produce my own stuff under that.
So so you bought like SV.media for $60. I mean, did you hold on to it for a couple of years, or you just
2 years?
And then you sold it for like what, $5 grand?
I had Supervillain Media like parked there.
Yeah.
Like I had something
redirect.
And there was a guy in Australia who owned a company called SV Media.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
So I pinged him. I was like, hey, I'm probably going to put this up for auction. If you're interested, we can work
ahead of time. Yeah.
And he's like, absolutely.
Was it a lot? I mean, it was like $5 grand, $10 grand, $100,000. I mean,
when I bought it,
no. When
I sold it for a couple grand.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Just that he was like, yeah, and I was like, I don't have to auction it, park it.
Well, no, totally. And you didn't rape your, hey, dude, $55,000. I mean, come on.
I mean, yeah, it's a 2-letter I could have, but I mean, it was a fit for him. He literally, like, his company was just SV Media. It was his initials. Like,
I've got ones that I bet in about 5 or 10 years are really going to be desirable. Like I have phph.ph.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And
actually, I think that would have probably been desirable in like the 90s, like or 2000s when PHP was huge.
No, not PHP.
Oh, just
PH. Like in other words, the country.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because I mean, let's face it, the Philippines is 10 years behind everything, and so therefore, eventually they'll understand that the internet will add value to them, and so therefore they'll probably start making websites in about a decade.
Maybe. I remember
maybe
they want to build a data center at some point in the Philippines on one of the interior islands, and they were gonna like there was this whole. So when I was
there are a couple.
When I was doing a lot of speaking engagements on IoT stuff like 5 years ago, when like kind of IoT was at its peak, I would travel all over the world and like do talks and all this other stuff. And I remember there was an engineer from the Philippines. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but he had done this whole design on wanting to make Philippines, this one specific island, like interior island in the Philippines, the hub for data storage in Southeast Asia. And so I was like, yeah, but don't you guys get typhoons and flooding?
Well, that's probably the inner. Yeah, I was going to say that's probably why he wanted an inner island.
So he's like, well, the typhoons don't hit the inner islands.
Yeah,
and then he's like, we'd build it elevated to avoid the flooding.
Sure, of course, flood plan.
And then we'd do like tidal power. He had this whole sustainability thing.
One building.
So it was.
I was going to say.
So he wanted to build one building that was like massive.
Right.
And I was like,
for redundancy. Fucking jackass.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, you have fiber to that island? He's like, well, not yet.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you look at the fiber, dude? Because
I don't even think like most of the islands don't have fiber. Everything's like point-to-point wireless.
Do you know that Facebook said, okay, this is so ridiculous. We will literally provide you with free backhaul internet via fiber to like 90% of the islands, and we will provide your citizens with internet over 4G, LTE, all that. And they said no, because of course there's basically 2 monopolies there, which is Smart and oh god, I forgot the other one. But regardless, and so once again, the citizens suffer because some douchebag is like, forget it. And it's so frustrating. But I mean, it's really interesting that he wanted to do that.
Yeah, now it was a great plan. It was all mocked up. I mean, smart guy, but I was like a few shortfalls.
Yeah. Well, what's funny? A buddy of mine, he opened data centers in Florida, of all places. And I said, now why? He said, well, dude, it's not on the fucking coast.
Well, actually, so there's a huge IX in Florida. And,
you think?
Yeah, and is it Miami, or just outside Miami.
Well, yeah.
And
exactly.
I think that's the one that gets the most fiber snags.
Where like,
where like boats with their anchors down come and snag the cable up.
Which I don't get. I mean, it's just like,
of course it's Florida, right?
Just put some buoys out there that say "call before you dig," for Christ's sake.
Well, so, Virginia never has that issue.
That's because there's a significant larger percentage of government IO going through Virginia.
But that's the biggest in the world, the Virginia Auburn.
Right.
Auburn.
It's just it is. But then let's face it, number 2 is also quite large, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like what is Santa Clara, right?
Yeah. Or no, Palo Alto.
Is it really?
I think so.
Okay, I thought it was like on that road.
Is Steve on? He'll know.
Steve, who?
Oh, one of the guys, Steve from the Bay.
Oh, okay.
The people are talking about the cost of living in the Philippines. Oh, Richard's here. Hey, Richard. Dorman. Hey, Dorman. What's going on?
What are they saying about the cost of living in the Philippines?
I just saw that.
Philippines has a lower cost of living, though.
Yeah,
no, it has a lower quality of living.
Life is like the question, man.
I think the best ROI overall is probably Vietnam.
I can't argue against Bangkok.
Well, no, trust me, I get that, but I mean, like the living you get here and the ability to do everything much higher.
Yeah,
it's I mean,
more expensive than Vietnam for sure.
But not. I mean, it's not distractingly expensive.
Right? Yeah, Steve. He's like, "What's the valley question?" So, Steve, the IX in California, is it Santa Clara or Palo Alto?
Yeah,
Mountain View, maybe.
Well, yeah, that's true. Ever since Google bought that real estate, they're like, no. Yeah. We're just not going to advertise it.
I thought for some reason it was Palo Alto was the IX.
I swear, under Mountain View, the entire foundation of that city must be made by solid glass.
I used to get on when I was at the Computer History Museum doing a talk. It's like a few years ago.
In Bangkok?
No, in Mountain View.
Oh, okay.
2015. I was there with IEEE.
I love that. I haven't done any meetings with those guys.
They flew me out from here.
Yeah, I love IEEE.
It was an IoT event. They flew me out, and it was at the Computer History Museum, which was amazing. To give a talk there.
Yeah.
Like all like Woz pops in.
I was gonna say Woz normally swings by,
and like then they took us out. This is when Google had the Priuses rigged up as self-driving cars and stuff
with the spinning.
Yeah, it had the spinning camera or LiDAR. It's LiDAR
version 0.5.
And so they bring us out on the Mountain View campus. Is one of them driving around?
Yeah, right, exactly. The Googleplex.
And then the guy's like, "Oh, be careful! Don't get hit by the self-driving car." We're like, "What?" He's like, no, they don't hit anyone.
No, they don't.
He's like, people have hit them, but they've never hit anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So isn't that crazy? Can you imagine coming out with a new technology for transportation that has 100% success? None of this 5 nines horse shit like we talk about in the data center. Yeah.
I used to think it was hilarious in MSOs where they're like, oh, everything has to be up 5 nines. I'm like, well, how do you account for sunspotting? Because we have all these outages that we never talk about.
Well, redundancy, like, go around it.
Like, no, Dana, what are you talking about? I'm like, sunspotting, a very common phenomenon that happens. Like, no, it doesn't count. And when they said it doesn't count.
Why is that planned downtime? Because you notify your customers?
Well, I mean, there is redundancy to get around. I mean, your actual services have downtime due to sunspotting.
Well, one link would.
Well, no, like anything that you get from like hits, like all the video content.
Oh, yeah, from the birds. Okay, yeah, that's
so. Right. And they're like, no, it doesn't count.
We had to plan around that in satellite AM radio.
Yeah, but I'm like, you can't just say it doesn't count and be like, oh, compliant. I mean, that's just if you're gonna set the standard for yourself, do it right.
No, look at dude. Here's the thing about 5 nines, 4 nines.
Steve doesn't know. Internet exchange. IX is like the big. The big international data center. There's one in the valley. I just can't remember where. Any leads on penny deals in Bangkok? Yeah, so actually this is funny because Hike commented on my video with Josh about using the Dollar General app to shop it for fabric, right? When I was doing the fabric shopping.
The Dollar General app.
Yeah.
So you scan a QR code, barcode?
Yeah, but it won't even, I can download it here, but it won't load. It needs to have, it needs to authenticate with the beacons inside the Dollar General store. So now, like
via Bluetooth,
yeah. So now what I need is, or either that, or it must be looking for the Wi-Fi because all the Dollar Generals have free Wi-Fi.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So what I need is either Josh or Hike to steal a Bluetooth token, a beacon from one of the Dollar General stores, and then capture the SSID and MAC address of one of their routers. I bet it's
Wi-Fi.
So let's see. So capture the MAC address and the SSID, and then send me one of the tokens.
Couldn't you just throw a VPN on your phone? I mean, can he use the Dollar General app at his house?
No, so I don't know. Can you use it at your house?
Like, I thought that's the point. Like, you put the Dollar General and you go into a Walmart.
No, you open the Dollar General app in Dollar General.
That's the only place you use it?
Yeah.
Well, then what's the benefit to using it here?
They were just joking to see if I could scan.
Got it.
Scan the fabric codes.
Yeah. Right,
and get penny deals. Because UPCs are universal. It would be interesting to see if one of those scans.
I remember when barcodes first came out, my dad was working. Have you ever heard of Denison? They own Carter Inc. They also make a lot of labels.
It's in Palo Alto. Thank you, Token.
Where? I mean, you and I both know that.
It's not a building we would know, right? So I don't know.
Well, it's not gonna have a lot of windows, yeah.
No windows except for the front office.
Yeah. But
actually, I don't even think the front office in Auburn has front windows, if I remember.
No, I'm sure 50% of it's underground as well.
Yeah, no, it is, and then but I think it's multi-level too. But you have to like above ground multi-level. But I think you have to, as I recall, you can't just walk up to it. That one, I think.
No, probably not. Yeah. No, I mean our data center shit that we used in Phoenix is a redundancy site. I mean, you could walk up to it.
University Avenue. Oh, see, I've never been to I should have gone to the Palo Alto when I was there just to take a photo in front.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. I mean,
not like they're gonna let me in. Like, hey, I'm an engineer. Can I just come and see the BGP routers?
It's just like, have you been down to the switch facility here in Chumbury?
So I've racked equipment in the IX here on TOT's IX.
I was gonna say it's TOT, river. Right? Yeah.
And they don't. The rack wasn't grounded, and they didn't have my server.
What do you mean? Was it solid? Was it not connected in a row?
It was.
The whole row was not. That's fucking impossible.
It's not impossible. And they didn't screw my server into the rack when they put it in. They just put it on top of another server.
You have to be joking.
I am not joking.
Was the hot? Let me guess. There was a shitload of spilling over the airflow. Like the hot aisle was warmish.
Oh yeah.
And the cool aisle was ish.
No, so everything was just booked. I mean, the aircon in there is crazy colder than it ever was in a US data center.
Well, yeah, because it's not designed right.
But so nothing had an IU spacing, an RU. Nothing had an RU spacing. Yeah.
Way.
And so I had a blade server that we rented, and when I went into work on it, I realized it was powered by AC.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get it. No, a lot of guys are DC guys. I get it.
No, but I mean, a data center, like an IX data center, everything should be neg 48 DC.
Depends, because not everything you buy that you're going to put in there is.
No, but if you do buy something that is AC, then you put it in its own rack that has its own DC AC conversion unit in the base, and everything is super grounded. This had an AC converter that plugged into a power strip that was run along the base of the rack.
I mean, this is like consumer grade almost.
Almost. Yeah, a lot of shit was jerry rigged.
That's interesting. Because I mean, the switch data centers, they have all AC. They have three phase.
Eric, I've been completely lost the last 20 minutes of this conversation.
Yeah, no, I know. That's how we get down.
Yeah, sorry. There,
Eric. Actually,
a little geeky.
Some of the guys have been like, "Hey, dude, you should do like a."
I'm gonna talk for a minute. I'm gonna hit the aircon to dehumidify the room.
What?
Yeah, I'm super humid.
Just so you guys know, it is literally 61 degrees Celsius in Bangkok right now. No, I'm kidding. It's not actually right now. It's not. But
Celsius, you'd be dead.
And it was. I wish it was Celsius. I like Kelvin. I like anything above 400 Kelvin. It's 72 right now.
Fahrenheit.
Dude, crazy. Oh no, look at that. Okay, yes, it refreshed. 71.
Nice. It's going down.
Anything below 70, dude? Done.
Done.
DUN done. I'm out of here like Vladimir.
All right, so I want to jump on the school issue. I was talking to you about it a bit.
Yeah,
earlier.
but all right.
So Jam, our daughter, Jib's daughter, goes to public Thai school. Right? I'm not gonna say which one.
Yeah, but she's in like high school or
high school, and she has she's in like a gifted program, advanced program type of thing.
Okay.
The Thai version of it, and they have a English language teacher. He's from Nigeria.
This would be the equivalent of AP classes in the United States.
Like AP classes in the US. Her English teacher's from Nigeria, and so when they first said that, I was like, well, I don't really care where he's from as long as he can speak English.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
And the teacher's like, no, we had like a really good interview process. All this it's through an agency. He's vetted as a good teacher.
Yeah, sure.
And so I'm like, okay, whatever. Because I know some people from Nigeria speak perfect English.
Sure.
Well enough that they could teach it.
Yeah.
So that was like the first semester. Kind of like, okay, whatever, let it go.
So you just took their word. You didn't like interview them. Like, we
asked Jam, but Jam's English is really good, and she's like, yeah, it's okay, like English class. But like, I'm sure for her, every English class is like boring because she speaks English so much better than her peers.
I mean, she must have at least a group of friends that speak it as well as she does.
So let me explain to you how this got to the point where we found out about the issue.
Yeah.
One of her friends from the class was getting private messages on Facebook from the teacher.
Okay.
That she didn't really understand. And so she sent it to Jam and was like, can you tell me what this says? And so she looks at it, she's like, well, it makes no sense.
Okay.
And so
it was like sarcasm or innuendo or something?
Horrible English grammar, written grammar, and the wrong use of vocabulary, words that meant nothing.
By the professor?
By the teacher, yeah.
Yeah, I always say professor. Sorry, teacher. Yeah.
So she sends it to Jib and then to me, and she's like, is this as messed up as I think it is?
Really?
I look at the message, and it's completely out of sorts. Like, the language means nothing. But then I realize he's sending this message one-on-one to a teenage girl in high school.
Right.
And it's like, it was like very borderline, like I would call it grooming.
Really?
Like that type of language. He's like,
so what is, I mean, like, you want to meet for coffee?
You know, he's like, I'm so happy that you were part of my 2020. I really look forward to being around you in 2021. And,
okay.
But then there were all these follow-ons where he's like, hey, how are you?
Okay.
So it started with like a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Which he probably could send to every student. Yeah.
No, he didn't. He only sent it to this one girl.
Really?
And so then it was like this whole thing about like, so happy to have you in my life, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like,
yeah, I mean, that's.
Then a few days later, it was like, hey, how are you? He just kept messaging
because she's not responding.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she would write, like, she's like, oh, fine. And then like he would write. And so we have a screen capture of it.
Yeah.
And so I was like furious. I'm like, this is inappropriate.
Sure. Yes.
And I mean, if he sent it to Jam, I mean, I would have.
Come on, I get it.
You know, but
yeah.
So we wrote a letter to the director of the program.
Excellent.
Like I wrote a letter, and then Jib was like,
yeah,
dial
come
it back.
on, exactly, yeah.
And then so I dial it back, and then so they have a parents group. Jib sends the letter to this group of parents with the teachers. Like, I have to like inform you of like the situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Happy New Year, but
yeah, exactly.
And so we put it out there. None of the parents have ever responded. It's been weeks. Like they don't care. And then the teacher, though, her Jam's homeroom teacher, took it and like brought it to the head of the program.
Okay, great.
And we had a phone call with the head of the program. I really felt like he wasn't taking the situation seriously.
Okay.
And at one point on the phone call, he laughed like at something I said. And I was like, it's not funny.
What did you say?
I don't even remember. But I just remember him laughing. I was like furious. I'm like,
yeah, okay.
At this point, I'm like, it's not a funny situation.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, we're going to investigate.
Which is
so Jib wants me to read the message so I can
really
so you can see how bad the English was. So the level of English is not anywhere near where you would expect a English teacher's language to be.
Okay. Anyway, so I mean, at the end of the day, can't you just like hold this guy accountable and that sort of thing, or does that not work that way?
We have tried to, and the school was like, let me read it, and then. Because the school also doesn't have. Oh, and then the school accused Jib of being racist. Basically, they were like, "Oh, well, you have a problem with him because he's black."
You know what? When people ask me that, I'm like, "Yes, they're fucking lame." The only cool black person in the entire goddamn globe is friggin' Eric. Every one of you other people.
Jib was like, "Wait, what? No,
Christ."
Which
is hilarious in Thailand.
Yeah,
who's very fucking racist.
I mean, I just when Jib was like, "Oh, they said that maybe we have a problem because he's black," and
Christ.
I'm like, let me find this.
It's so ridiculous.
And
what's the professor's name? Karen.
It could be.
Jesus Christ.
I'm trying to find.
I love when people.
So this is like a whole Thai thing. So I can do this. I can swipe through the photos, or I cannot swipe through the photos. I should have prepped this beforehand. It's almost like if I was like a professional.
Well, here's the downside is that this is not the first time in the world this has ever happened.
No. Hey, Jib, can you send me the message online, please, so I can read it?
Eric, yeah, exactly. Token nomad, Eric and Eddie Murphy. Those are the only two. Yeah.
Eric and Eddie Murphy. What do you mean, you people? Oh, we're getting into sketchy territory now. God,
so ridiculous.
Jim, send me the screenshot online, please. Here it is. It's Eric saying you're late.
Now is the all of these, yeah, and you know what? So Eric, highlight that comment if you don't mind. I think that that's a very good point. And while you could
all of these abuse cases, but
yeah, and I mean, again, obviously he's generalizing. You know, the entire country wants to bury all of them. Like, okay, probably not that, but I mean, it's probably a high percentage, and I get it.
So let me go on to okay, Jim just sent me this, but let me go on to let me read this message first. So this is like the whole interaction, but I want to read it real quick. So I'm so happy having you as my 2020. This is verbatim.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting year at the school and our social grounds. I hope to see you in 2021 healthy and energetic. Let's keep the Virgil into 2021. Wishing you and your family a prosperous new year in advance.
Okay. I mean,
and then like
whatever.
he just keeps following up with her, following with like, hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. So I asked, like, as someone who's a teacher myself, right? Like you are not just morally, but legally, you know, responsible for these students.
I worked at a university. I get it.
My students are adults.
Yeah, totally.
Right? And like, I would never send a one-on-one private message to a student unsolicited.
Yeah, no doubt.
Email, yes. And I would copy my department head or whoever, but I would never send a one-on-one unsolicited messages on Facebook. And like I said, they're adult students.
Yep.
And like, I don't even add my students on Facebook until after they graduate. Like, you can hit me up on LinkedIn or whatever. But so I asked a few other of my other professionals in the field, other teachers, and they all agreed it's highly inappropriate. And the way he worded some things.
Okay, well, I mean, again, the one you read me, I mean, I'm not going to defend this guy, but the point is what you read is like, okay, well, whatever. It's also
English was horrible.
No, well, that I would be pissed about. It was like the fucking math teachers, no calculus.
So after we talked to the teacher, they came back first and they're like, oh, well, his English teaching methodology was really good. We did an interview and he's about to graduate with a master's in linguistics from a university here in Bangkok. I was like, if someone was about to graduate with a master's in linguistics, I would be furious if this is the level of language they were writing at. And so then we got his Facebook page from Jam, and I looked up and like he doesn't have an education degree. He went to seminary in Africa. That's his educational background. He graduated from seminary, and the fact that qualified him to go to a master's program here was mind blowing in itself.
Okay, so I mean, she's at a public school, right?
Yes.
I mean, 51% of all the public schools in the United States suck. Right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Okay. So, I mean, again, I'm sad that this is happening to your daughter. Is there going to be any, and again, I will tell you that what you just read me, I would be very concerned about this guy's skill set, but obviously you haven't given me, or not, maybe it's not obvious. You have not given me enough data to believe that this guy has any degree of like pre-child molester behavior. I'm not saying
the fact that Jam's friend was weirded out by these messages to begin with.
That's totally, absolutely. But just so far, I will tell you that I would be more concerned about his skill set.
So the school tried to defend his skill set.
Yeah, which is
bullshit. And then when they came back on the creepy factor, right? I like to use the word rapey, but Jib told me not to. When they came back on the creepy factor, they even said one of the female he said, oh, I didn't mean anything. It was just a message. And they even said one of the female teachers who was part of that process said, oh, he's probably just lying because something's not right.
I don't understand. Right? Lying about what?
Like he was like, oh, I didn't mean it. It was a very innocent intent. And she's like, he's just saying that. So one of the female Thai teachers said that. And they're still like, oh, but we're going to give him another chance. And, see what happens. And so I reached out to a friend of mine, Thai friend, who's CEO of a language company, an ed tech company here in Thailand, because he works with the Ministry of Education. And on projects. And I was like, hey, let me run something by you. I'd like to talk to you about this. And so he called me and we had a conversation. And he's like, dude, he's like, 100% understand what you're saying. I went through all the details with him.
But there's nothing I can do.
No. And so he said, he's like, the school's not going to do anything. He's like, they don't care.
Right.
He's like, and the reason is because it's so hard to find an English teacher because they pay them 20,000 baht a month. Yeah. 25,000, 20,000 baht. And, they have all these requirements. They hire them through agencies and like, they just don't give a fuck. They most of them don't even have qualifications to teach.
So the same rhetoric you would hear in the United States.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, what would you do at your company? Because he employs teachers. If
probably pays them $100,000 a month.
Yeah, and I was like, if they flirted, even sent private messages to us, he was like, He goes, I fired my best trainer,
Yeah,
my teacher trainer,
sure, of course.
because one of the students started sending him messages and he started dating her.
Yeah. So, and I will tell you right now, as a guy that worked in a university, in a age group that is referred to as the hookup culture, I can tell you right now that I've received infinitely more inappropriate messages
I had a
than I've
student,
sent.
one of my students was like, I gave her a D. Right?
She wanted to.
She's like, how can I get an A?
Vaginally increase it.
Like, you could have done the work during the semester.
Copy that.
And she's like, well, how can I improve my grade now? I was like, study for the exam. And
Right.
you do well, you'll probably get a C. She's like, oh, but I need an A. I was like, mathematically, there's no way for you to get an A at this point.
Exactly. You could get 100% on every single project between now and the end of the.
And she's like, no, but I need an A. What can I do to get an A? I was like, take the class again next year.
There you go.
And she was clearly trying to get me to, like, you know,
really?
Yeah. Or she was like, she's like, I could do anything for an A. What can I do? Like, and she was like, she started sending me emails. I was like,
that's that's dumb because it's documented.
I looped back to the department head, and he was like, there's no way you can give her an A. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, this is also the reason I don't teach at that school anymore.
Yeah.
I failed like 4 students this one semester because they were horrible students. All 4 of them didn't show up for the final.
Yeah.
After not handing in their only project for the semester.
Sure.
The teacher's like, well, can you give them C's? The department head.
So I can tell you that the exact same thing, that exact same conversation happens at the University of San Diego. It happens at the University of Massachusetts. Wow. It happens at the entire, it just happens. Okay. The other thing too, is that you need to realize that the ratings that the students give of the professors, and again, this is at university level, is incredibly relevant to your accreditation, believe it or not. So your popularity plays into the fact that you have the accreditation from ABET to teach engineering classes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's really ridiculous. I hope that you're able to come up with a solution that will obviously allow your daughter to be challenged, let alone graduate from high school and not have to take another 2 fucking years of friggin' college just to be able to apply and become a freshman.
Yeah.
That would suck. Does she feel stunted?
I mean, I'm sure this is clearly she's not being challenged at school.
Okay.
And
just in English?
I don't think anything.
How old is she?
16.
16. So she's doing minimum trigonometry.
Should be. Math is probably her weakest subject.
It doesn't matter. She should still be in a class.
Which is a bit, you know, as a junior in high school, yeah, she should be taking calculus.
Wait, 16? She's a junior in high school?
Yeah.
Okay, she graduates at 17?
She'll be 18 because of the way the school years work. She'll be 18. Oh, Jib said she's 17. I'm sorry. She's 17.
Okay, so and here's why my eyes just went up. When you're 17 and you're a junior in high school in the United States, you are applying the shit out of your life at colleges.
No.
Do they do that here?
No, I applied in senior year. I sent out 1 application, got into my first choice school.
How long ago was that? Did you mail it in?
1990. I did mail it in 1997.
Okay. We need to talk about the way that you apply for colleges today.
Okay.
You basically go to a website and you essentially pay to apply to various colleges in each application, if you will, right? So therefore, I mean, it's not like before when you and I applied to colleges, you had your primary, you had your backup, you had your secondary. Okay, if I don't get into Northeastern, then I'll go to BU. If I don't get into Harvard, I'll go to MIT. If that sort of thing. That doesn't occur in the United States any longer.
Okay, so how does it work now? Because you worked at a university up until a year ago.
And let me just say, if you think about the university system, especially private universities in the United States, it is the only freaking vertical I have ever worked with where we turn away 90% of the people that show up on our doorstep to give us money. We get 15,000 applications a year. We accept 1,500 students, and each of them pays on average $250,000 for a bachelor's degree.
Eric applied in his junior year as well. I did not. I took my SAT.
Eric's your age.
He's a little bit younger than me, a few years.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so, he's okay. A couple. Yeah,
but
like
I'm not that young. Did you apply online? He probably mailed them in also.
I was driving with my mom to local universities, interviewing them basically in my junior year.
So I went to a college fair my junior year.
Okay.
Like they held it like the community college at the big auditorium. So I went to that and met with all the different schools, which ones I liked.
You went to Wentworth eventually for your undergrad?
Yeah. Well, started there. Yeah.
Okay.
And so
But you got accepted.
They were my first choice. I wanted to go to school in Boston.
Yeah,
I didn't have the grades to go to MIT.
Dude. Oh, I got a story. It pissed me off. Yeah, I should have had MIT.
I didn't have the grades for it.
1C
for sure.
Fucking.
I had multiple C's. I got like a C in math my senior year.
Yeah,
and so especially, which would have definitely like
the T at MIT, and they kind of want your math to be good.
And so Wentworth was my first choice. I didn't want to go to Northeastern.
Right.
And so
it's a factory.
Yeah, and so I didn't want to go to BU. So I went to the campus. Like, it's so weird. It's just a street.
It's also a factory.
Yeah, but it's just Com Ave.
It's like, concrete. Yeah. 90 degrees at every. Yeah. It's not a university. I liked
Wentworth's old building.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
The feel of it. And so I put in. I sent my application for early admission first semester senior year.
Okay.
And like 3 weeks later, I got back early acceptance with a scholarship offer.
Okay.
So I didn't apply anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, right. Yeah. Sure. Why would you?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will tell you right now that is not the common behavior. Yeah. Eric will, I mean, again, that's more. But my point is, what about here in Thailand? I don't give a shit about the U.S. anymore.
So in Thailand, you take a government test, and then you take that score and you apply to your top 3 schools, I think. And if you don't get into one of those, and you have to go through a different process or go to a private university.
I know of a test you basically take to leave high school in other countries. I believe they refer to it as the baccalaureate.
Yeah.
Is that what this is here?
No. So I think if you go to private school here, it's that.
Oh, okay.
They call it the IB, the International Baccalaureate.
Yeah.
Which is like, someone told me that's popular in the U.S. This kid who was a teacher at one of these schools told me that. I was like, I don't think so, man. I've never heard of that in the U.S.
Depends where you go.
But then they call it A levels, right? In British,
it's not popular in the U.S. No, it is available in the U.S.
Token says he had junior college on his radar from the beginning. I should have. I ended up, when I went back to school years later, I went to community college. The best thing I ever did.
But yeah, at what age?
I was almost 30.
Oh, dude, come on. Same here. I mean, my master's degree, Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm sure you grew up just like I did. If I do not go to college, I will have to work at McDonald's.
Yeah, that's what my family told me.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. And not like as the CEO, but as the freaking cashier. So it was like, look, dude, I got to get a bachelor's degree. I mean, dude, I was knee deep in fucking cocaine for 2 years straight, and I still did not quit college. Because I'm like, I got to graduate from, if I don't graduate from college, well, I was probably thinking, I'm not going to be able to get a job to get enough money to be able to buy blow. But I mean, but it's like, if I don't do this, I would literally have no ability to do anything.
If you came to Thailand, you could have got blow at a discount.
Well, that's true. I mean, I could have done anything for my A.
So Steve, I have no idea how much college applications are today, but in 1997 it cost $10 to apply to California State. I think I applied to Wentworth in 97, it would have been 96. 1996, I think it was a $50 application fee that they waived for me.
100, sure, yeah.
Like they gave, when they came to the school, when they were at they actually gave me a physical thing, like a gift certificate. It was like a application fee waiver.
Yeah, sure.
Like good for academic year, whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean, and then you also got to remember back in the 70s, my God, the California State University system, which if you don't know, basically CSUs are effectively called name of the city state university from now on. But yeah, I mean, the tuition was nothing.
Token nomad. And I have he's like, he dated a girl from BU. That campus had a ton of hotties. Absolutely. I dated a girl from BU, multiple girls from BU as well when I was there. And just.
Well, my girlfriend at UMass Boston was fucking gorgeous. She's Moroccan.
I dated a chick from BU. She was from Revere.
Oh, from Seville?
Yeah.
Nice.
So white trash. But I ended up through her. I met her from another chick I hooked up with in her building. So I met this girl.
The dorm rooms are like that.
From Revere. Nice. Ended up like hooking up with her for a while. Then hooked up with her 2 neighbors.
Sure, that was a challenge.
Both roommates.
You're probably like, hey, do you want it? Yes.
Yeah, and then like. Then through her, I met another chick who was an RA, and they called the 3 towers, like those 3 tall buildings. I ended up hooking up with her for a while.
Right.
And then, because of the RA chick, I met 3 of the girls on her floor.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
This was all like in a 2-semester span of time.
Dude, I mean, you're 18, 19 years old. You're a walking gland. I mean, I did the same thing.
It was great because BU had all these like cafeterias. So I'd hook up with all these. Just like, hey, you want to go to the cafeteria? We have all this money on our meal card.
Oh, like, dude, yeah, totally. I remember.
I'm gonna have sex with you, and you're gonna feed me. Okay.
When I started, because I was pretty good in undergrad, and then in Boston, and then moved to Southern California. And first of all, I was like, you got to be kidding me! Like these girls none of them are overweight, and that was at San Diego State, you know, which was just funny because when I went there, it was when Playboy used to do the top 10 party schools in the United States. Yeah. San Diego State was like number 4. You know, thank God my mom doesn't read Playboy regularly. Otherwise, she probably would have known that.
So she reads it sometimes.
I mean, it's on the counter, you know, it's like for the articles. Yeah, but no, I was like, it was amazing to me. And then I started doing and selling cocaine.
Yeah.
And the amount of, because it's Bangkok Strange. This isn't Live My Ass Off. This isn't Native Blunt. The amount of pussy that I got from that, I was like, holy shit. Have I known about this product living in Boston? I would have been at Dana level, basically. I would have had somebody. I need to get a cool and refreshing beverage. Do you want one?
You go for it. No, I'm good.
Yeah, okay.
I'm still coming down off the coffee. So, yeah, Eric says here, in hindsight, community college should be on everyone's radar. I fully agree, man. I would say, like, just like to figure it out, especially at 18. When I went to college at 18 to Wentworth, I had no idea what the fuck I wanted to do. I studied computer science. Turns out I hated coding. You know, it's definitely, I think you're right. Community college should be on everyone's radar. Just one, cost-wise, super effective, but two, the ability to explore different things is great. And I started, you know, when I was almost 30, I think it was 20, maybe 27 when I started at community college. And that's when I started to get like an interest in design when I went back and was studying networking. Yeah, Greg went to college age 30 for free with grants. Yeah, when I went back, I had no debt at all. I went for completely free, either, you know, paid for by where I worked or with grants or scholarships. No problem at all. I was poor and black. They waived everything. Nothing wrong with that, man. Free money's free money. It doesn't matter how you get it. Well, it could matter how you get it, but let's say for the most part, it doesn't. Was that a Southie accent? You know, Revere, Severe, you know, that East Coast kind of all blends together. I think I lived in Boston for like 5 or 6 years. I must have picked up quite a bit of the Boston accent from my Rhode Island accent, which was already unique and thick to begin with. And, you know, because people always hear like a little bit of the Boston, like coffee, like buy me a coffee, you know, like that type of stuff. Like coffee always comes out really thick for me, you know, ka. Like I can definitely slip into that, you know, replacing the R with like a hard HE. Didn't get it, unfortunately, but ended up getting my and going straight to the Air Force anyway. Did you go to Air Force Community College, Eric, when you were in? Because I know they have, the Air Force is their only branch, I believe, that has their own community college where you can actually get a degree. When I was in the Army, if you finished one of the, I believe it was one of the year-long programs at DLI, you could get like additional credits from the community college and graduate from DLI with a associate's degree in linguistics in a specific language. Tuition at San Jose State was $110 per quarter. With books, it was significantly under $300. The good old damn. Even with, I like how books added like almost double to the tuition. But yeah, the book industry is weird, especially with universities, because, you know, educational books are so expensive, you know, and they spend so much money marketing to the teachers because the teachers pick the books. When I taught in the U.S., even at I taught for a couple semesters, like Mike brought up all the candies.
Well, because I get a chip. She's like, "Oh, do you want a gummy bear?" And she hands me like,
yeah, I bought these the other day, and like I was like, we bought these at Donkeys. They were super cheap, cheaper than 7-Eleven.
Well, in the spirit of our conversation, the interesting thing is the way that she walked up to me. She goes, "Hello, old man. Do you want some candy from a little girl?" And I was like, "I'm going to have to report you to your supervisor." So I'm here to tell you right now.
We're talking about tuition at, Steve says tuition at San Jose State was $110 per quarter. With the books, it was significantly under $300.
Yeah, no, the books are the most expensive. I went to San Diego State. Well, I started in '89.
They market to the teachers so heavily.
Oh, the books?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, the publishing companies, yeah.
When I taught at ITT Tech, which is like one of the most, I hate to say this, don't ever go to ITT Tech. Don't let the kids or the kids of your neighbors go to ITT Tech. Because despite the fact, I still have students from ITT Tech that reach out to me who appreciate the level I taught at.
Yeah.
And, you know, and there was a lot of people who taught really well, but the system there requires you to teach like really fundamental stuff.
Yeah.
Like, when I was teaching subnetting, I spent like a whole day doing subnetting. Like,
you said you bought these.
Yeah, these are fried chilies. I want to try these. But they were saying they're like, oh, don't spend so much time on subnetting. You need to teach subnetting plus routing protocols all in the same block.
Right.
I was like, oh, these kids aren't going to grasp all the math behind subnetting in like an hour.
Didn't you just sort of follow the CCNA procedure of teaching?
No,
isn't that sort of the end game of that class?
No, so it's like
or CCNP.
The Network Plus is like the
oh, Jesus Christ, like an A+, but yeah. Okay.
And so Network Plus, actually, I would argue the Network Plus was a harder exam than
CCNA.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it was easy.
Just from a varied, they're both easy, right? Neither of them are hard, but the CCNA is easier because there's simulations in the CCNA. So if you work on equipment all day, you blow through the simulations, no problem. And is because Cisco's its own language. Once you understand the Cisco iOS, no problems.
What's the new one called?
They have a. You mean the one below?
Nexus, right? Is the new Nexus switches? I think has a different language.
Nexus
Cisco.
Yeah, they have their own thing, but it's still very similar.
Of course.
But, but the Network Plus, you have to memorize all of this. You have to learn all of this varied information about networking from server side all the way through routing and switching.
What year was this?
That I taught? 2000. It was before I moved here, obviously.
Okay.
So 2010, 2011.
So you were doing IPv6, definitely. I was going to ask you, were you doing IPv6? And of course you were back then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you talk about it, but it's not in the curriculum. But because I actually ran IPv6 for the system I worked in,
At Cox, sure.
Yeah. I did all the I configured it all. I did all of the space management.
Just giving you, what you didn't do. Oh, we haven't recorded because normally Dana, he goes like this.
Yeah. If I record, I clap.
And the reason I like it is because his boobs shake when he does it.
Jiggle, jiggle.
Jiggle, jiggle, baby. So how is your address written? That's interesting. You don't give people like are you in Bang Na? You're in Bang Na with me, right?
No, Prakanong is my.
Oh, you're in
my district. Bang Jak's my sub district.
But you don't give people that. No, Prakanong. Yeah. Okay, got it.
It's in there. Eric missed the whole college thing. He already been in the military almost 9 years before going. You went to UT. Okay.
No, UT Austin's a cool school.
Yeah. Eric considers himself a Texan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He's been way down there.
Some of my best friends named Michael Dell are from Texas.
Name drop.
Here's the interesting thing, though, about working at a university. It was ridiculously overpriced, but also working in higher ed.
How much did your university cost?
$250,000 for a bachelor's degree. That include living there, include room and board, but it was about I think it was $1,600 a credit. So let's say for the sake of argument, it was $1,500. So to take a calculus class is $4,500. One class, 3 credits. And here's the thing. Again, 90% of the people that said we want to give you money, we said no, you can't come here. Okay, so in other words, it's not like we were raped. Everyone's oh my god, you're too expensive.
10% exception rate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Because it was like you only allow 1,500. I mean, it was small
school, yeah.
Yeah, but 8. And you know what's funny is we had approximately 8,500 students in total. So we have a law school, and of course we have business school and engineering school and that sort of thing. But the law school was kind of separate, and then of course there's the bachelor's, right, which is the majority, which is about 5,000 or 6,000 students, and then like 2,000 or so master's programs, and then literally we maybe had 250 PhD candidates, that were there studying at any given time. But I mean, it's a private university. I mean, that was the experience. When I first started working there, your first year you had to live on campus. When I left there, their first 2 years you had to live on campus. Oh. And it's not like the students were like, "Oh, screw it, I'm not going here." They were like, "Okay."
I know I told you about when I was a PhD student in at TU, SIT, and the absolute level of shit that I had to live in. They're like, oh, you have to live in this dorm your first year. Right. No window, interior room.
Yeah.
In a gender segregated building.
So our dorms overlooked
international dorms.
Yeah. It looked Mission Bay.
Oh.
It was, basically you looked out over SeaWorld and just, but again, it's the University of San Diego. I mean, it's not. And what's funny is people used to always give me a hard time. And I'm like, So you're telling me you would prefer to work for the organization that charges your customers less and you want to make less money? I'm like, dude, no one is putting a gun to the head of these students to like come here and pay. And in fact, part of the panache of going there, I mean, because so if you don't know, Southern California, there's a high number of very wealthy Mexican families. And like many wealthy families, they like to have, you know, a Gucci bag, and they also like their students, their kids to go to a school that has some sort of pizzazz. And that was USD. USD was the luxury school for the very wealthy Mexican people.
That's a niche.
And again, too, I mean, academically, obviously, I mean, if you don't get accreditation, then, you know, so we had to do that too. So there was some academic stuff, but
well, I would argue accreditation, and it has its place, right? But especially if you want money from the government, like grants, scholarships, stuff like that.
Yes, it's your requirement.
But I think the past year, 2020, and everything that went on, especially with education, is going to change the way people look at. I hope it changes the way people look at degrees in education and job readiness.
Yeah, me too. So I worked there 15 years, and I will tell you that in the entire 15 years, even professors, leaders, that sort of thing, they all said that exact same thing. But I will tell you that I could go up to that person and say to them, I work at the University of San Diego, and there's this other student that has a degree from the University of Phoenix. I'm worth more. And that's just the way it is. I mean, it's, you know, and they could be electrical engineering degrees that are both ABET accredited.
So here's the thing. But I don't think University.
My point is brick and mortar, you know.
Up until 2020, and the University of Phoenix is the extreme case, right? Because it's the biggest factory of them all, right? I think something like 1 million plus students register per year.
Yeah, and 35% withdraw.
Yeah, and I think it's higher than that.
We have a 5% attrition rate.
5? You do?
Yep.
But I think at University of Phoenix it's higher than 35%.
Yeah, probably.
I remember reading and this is a couple of years ago, but I remember reading a statistic that only 10% of students actually graduate with degrees from University of Phoenix.
That seems a little low, actually. I mean, my buddy worked for Apollo Group that owns University of Phoenix brand, and he ran all the data centers and stuff.
Who owns University of Phoenix now?
Apollo Group. They've owned them for years.
Laureate International owns a bunch of smaller for-profit universities as well.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, like, if you look at, I think University of Phoenix is the failed side of the model, right? Where you take in everyone, you overcharge them, you get as much grant money as you can.
Yes, absolutely.
And then you put people into as much student debt as possible. Whereas I think like some of the universities, like the UC system, the UW system, put in some really good online learning models that worked well for blended learning.
Dude, think about, if you don't want the piece of paper, you can absolutely go through all the curriculum at Stanford and MIT for free online, become an electrical engineer. And I'll tell you right now, dude, I mean, I hope that is the model.
So I think, well, that model exists to a certain extent, but if you, something like an engineer, you do want them to have the degree because you want, you know, confidence in their ability to.
Oh, I'm not saying don't hold them accountable.
Same thing with doctors.
Yeah.
But I agree that the model, like MIT with their Open University, all of their course materials online, but the delivery is pretty shitty on Open University.
Well, no, there's no accountability. You don't interface with the professor.
No, but I mean just the delivery of the material. Stanford with the Coursera, Stanford was behind Coursera.
Yeah.
And I believe they're part of the edX program now as well. But those
Moodle as well.
Yeah, but
open source.
But those two MOOCs, as far as like Coursera and edX,
which most people will not know what that means. Massive
open online course or online open course.
MOOC.
Yeah.
MOOC. Sorry.
So I think those two, when they really changed the game with the MOOC model, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, it'll never work.
Yeah, and then 2020 showed up. Yeah.
I did this is back in like 2009. I did the mathematical thinking course on, I believe it was Coursera at the time. And at the time it was like over 1 million people registered.
Yeah.
And it was like the biggest online class ever. It was huge. I still have the book downstairs because you could buy the physical book on Amazon and it was like $2.
Yeah, right, totally.
And it was amazing. Or you could download the PDF for free.
Right.
But you couldn't, they didn't have it in ebook because ebook didn't, at the time, EPUB didn't support formulas.
Oh, right, sure,
They would have had to convert everything to graphics.
Yeah, that'd be annoying, sure.
So they wrote the book in LaTeX and then could print the formulas out and put it to a PDF and send it to Amazon.
That's pretty sweet.
But so the way it worked out was that this is like 1 million people in the class, and like less than 100,000 ended up finishing the class.
Yeah, sure, of course.
But here's the thing with a MOOC, like I think the big misconception is that you have to finish it, and you don't, because you could just be going into a MOOC to get a piece of information.
Yes.
And once you get it, you're done.
Yeah.
And if you're not paying for it, the ROI is fantastic. Now, if you want the certificate and you go through, like I've done the design thinking programs through RIT on edX, and you matriculate, you get the certificate.
Sure.
Great. But I think 2020 has changed a lot of people's opinions on this, and I think a lot of higher education institutes have really started to open their eyes and be like, okay, we at least need to offer something.
Yeah. So the majority of the universities that I worked with, even starting in 2005, absolutely had an online component. Even our university, the reason it's also so expensive is the fact that we do not hire TAs. Every professor has to have a PhD, and you get one-on-one time with the professor. So in your freshman year, your biggest class size, I believe, was 25. By the time you get to your senior year, it's like 8, 9, 10, that sort of thing. So tons of interaction, right, with the professor. And so again, that was sort of the selling point, in the classroom. And of course, we added online stuff because the students demanded. They're just like, look, dude, I showed it with my phone. Actually, here's what's funny. The student that shows up at USD, the average is 5 electronic devices.
Wow.
Here, okay. So freshmen show up to go to university, right? And they show, oh my God, I'm really, nervous. And the parents are there, and they drop them off that weekend. So the way it works at USD is you drive up, and upperclassmen come to your car, and they get all of your equipment, basically your clothes and your gear and everything. They bring it up to your dorm room, and then IT shows up. We set up your printer. We call telecom. We mount your flat screen TV on the wall because, of course, you showed up with one of those. Yeah. To hook it to the IP network their printer. Wow. Because, of course, don't forget, all the traffic that goes on my network, I can see it. Yeah. Fuck SSL. Yeah. And so, but it was a concierge experience to the point where parents would show up, and we would give them a 20% discount if they paid the entire tuition that weekend. Wow. So they're like, I'm going to save 50 grand all day long. Bam. Yeah. That one weekend, we would generate probably about $350 million. Wow. That one weekend. And so my guys would be like, yeah, I want Labor Day weekend off. I'm like, you're fucking delusional. Yeah. So you can quit right now. I said, everybody shows up. Like the CIO is in the room with the VIP customers.
That's wild.
It's ridiculous.
So it's funny because I remember building my computer before I went to freshman year, building my desktop, right? Getting the processor, going out.
Yeah. I need the thermal grease.
Yeah, the thermal grease.
With the fan, yeah.
I had the special tool to press it. So you get that even pressure.
And now, fuck it, I'm going to Fortune Town, and for $750, I'm walking out with a supercomputer.
But I remember building that and getting the CRT monitor. I had that 15-inch CRT.
I love it, CRT.
Yeah, I was trying to explain to Jib, like the boxes.
What does CRT stand for?
When you buy the cathode ray tubes. Yeah. But when you buy the fucking box and you have to carry it.
If it was less than 40 pounds, you were getting a real high-end one.
Yeah. And so I remember building that and goes all the serial cables, trying to get a printer to work on a P1.
Think about that, because you have a Mac.
Yeah.
You can walk into anybody's wireless network and you can hook up a printer.
Yeah.
Less than 1 minute. Amazing.
When I get the M1 downstairs, wire that up, boom, there's my printer.
I can't even imagine.
So the M1 is insane.
Yeah. So when is Apple's meeting? I just got a notification for it. I think I will likely be a millionaire by the end of 2021 because of the M1 success that is going to happen.
It's so the M1X is going to the next generation of the chip. I don't know.
Lives.
That's the working name, the M1X.
I think they're going to be put into cars soon.
The M1X specs that they leaked. So the Mac
leaked,
Pro,
yeah, right.
Leaked.
Sure.
With Apple, if something leaks, I'm assuming that PR leaked it.
The media found out. Oh my God, what person broke the? Yeah.
So, especially when they're they don't know the name, they don't know any of it, but they know there's certain 3 specs.
Yeah, and of course it's accurate.
Yeah.
Right.
But so with
we're missing comments, and I apologize for that. That is my default setting.
These guys are talking to each other.
Dana is much better at that than I am. So
with Josh is sending me photos now. Suburban Beard.
What's up, not an Apple product? Suburban Beard just hopped in.
No, it's not an Apple product.
What isn't?
So I don't know, but he might be talking about.
Oh, we're only 3 minutes. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude.
So,
I'm usually 20 minutes behind the
here
comments.
it is. I think he's sending me penny hauls.
Oh, you know what? Hey, John, thank you so much for your email, man. He sent me some really heartfelt emails about. Let's say you use cookies. Yeah, same.
So here's the thing with the M1. The M1X looks like it's going to be like just straight performance cores and only 4 efficiency cores. So it's going to be like I think it's like
same GPU,
like 16. No, so it's 12. No, it's going to be double the GPU. So as opposed to a 6-core, like a 12-core GPU.
Well, this has got to be home only. There's no way they can put this in a mobile device. The heat would just.
No, it's the performance chip for the Mac Pro and like the MacBook 16.
Oh, yeah.
And so like this is like the pro level version of the M1 chip that's out now. And the M1 chip
amazing
with 16 gigs of RAM on this chip, right? It really acts more like it's got 32 in there. I mean,
yeah, right.
You know,
the feeling, sure.
You know, the way how fast it is and how just like the instant on. Like I rendered the video I put up the other day was 22 minutes, and it took like 26 minutes to render at 5K. At
5K
at ProRes HQ.
So how long? It was about 3 gigs.
No. Actually, the first one I rendered out was 5K. ProRes HQ.
Yeah,
258 gigabits.
Gigabytes.
Yeah.
For the file?
Yeah.
1/4 of a terabyte for one video?
Yeah, because I wanted to render a ProRes high quality.
Yeah, try
what happened.
Yeah.
At 5K. And yeah.
For 22 minutes?
256 gigabyte.
10 gigs per minute?
Yeah, and 26
minutes. That's amazing.
To crank it out.
Yeah, that's
for a 22-minute video.
Yeah, no doubt.
If I did that on the laptop, it'd still be rendered.
No. I mean, yeah, I'll tell you one of the things that does piss me off about my machine, because it's fine for what I do, but like when I don't do 4K stuff. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know how to spell 4K. But you do a video and you render it, and it's basically 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm just like, at 1080p, I'm just like, come on, man, this is like really. So I'm hoping they improve it. Now that said, I've got a friggin' i86.
I mean, you're blasting through. I mean, your machine's pretty baller when you got 2 GPUs in
for
there.
$750. What are you shitting me?
But I tell you, that Mac Mini, man, it's
yeah.
I love working on that ultra widescreen monitor I have now.
What do the screens cost? Were they really expensive?
No,
less than $500.
Yeah.
Who makes them? Dell?
One's a Samsung. And one's a Chinese brand I hadn't heard of.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Chinese brands I haven't heard of, because I mean they're all made in the same.
That was like nothing.
Yeah, of course.
Like less than $100 for a 20,
but that's not
27
the
inch.
wicked what 27.
Yeah, no, the wicked wide one's a 34-inch Samsung, which was still like $300.
Yeah, first thing I got to do is standing desk, like motorized desk kind of thing, because if with this back I'm so distracted.
Yeah.
And then the next thing though is probably some degree of like home, thing.
So you just gotta set up a dock for the laptop. So you sit down, you drop the laptop in, plug in the monitor, and boop.
Probably, yeah. They won't be sitting like this, like you just have cables, because that works pretty well for me. But the other thing too, again, I'm retired and I got nothing going on, and I spent the last 2 days obsessed with BKK.FM.
Yeah.
So that's been kind of fun too. But the nice thing about audio is I don't really need much GPU to fucking render, so that's nice. Yeah.
I'll tell you, with that ultra wide setup, editing in Final Cut's amazing. It just opens up and you drop everything.
So you're full on Final Cut. No more Adobe.
I spent the time setting Final Cut up again.
Yeah.
So like so I can tag all my video and I drop it in, it just goes where it needs to go.
Right.
Tagging all my audio. On that video, the Epic Fabric Hall video, I spent more time doing sound design than I did video editing.
Well, why? I mean, I didn't watch it yet, so
I
isn't it just you and Jib like here or downstairs?
No, we went out to the fabric place. So I did all the videoing, but then like I voice over the middle. But then like I went and like I all right, I wanted to make my own sound effects for the transitions.
Oh, okay, nice, dude.
I went in and I was laying like little sub sounds into things, and then tweaking, because we recorded with the I don't really record audio when we're in the fabric store, right? Like I'm just filming the fabric.
And you do 9 that you were.
Yeah, I use the 9
with the media mod.
So I threw the media mod on, and I recorded in 2 different settings. One linear, hyper smooth at boost, and horizon leveling.
Yeah, nice.
And so super slick for the whole thing. And then I recorded some walkthrough video on wide with hyper smooth boost.
Nice.
at both at 5K, 24 frames per second.
Yeah, I don't.
And then when I film the outside footage, I use the ND16, which lets me get like a really beautiful blue sky.
Yeah, you showed me that. That's pretty nice.
So the thing I love about the NDs is that you throw that on, and with the GoPro, what can suck is if you're just using auto everything.
Dark. Yeah.
Well, if you're like vlogging style, you're in front of the camera, the sky behind you is gonna be blown out.
Totally, yeah.
Right, just so that your face is light enough.
Yeah.
So I can throw it on 148 shutter speed, throw the ND8 or the ND16 on there, and it's just like you get so much dynamic range out of this little ass camera.
It twists on.
No, so I don't have those. I just got the ones that push on.
They just go over the square.
They go over the lens protector. Yeah.
Okay, and what do those run you? A decent NDs, like what, $20?
900 baht for the set.
Yeah, so about $20. Oh,
the set of the 3 NDs with the circular polarizer. Actually, you should get a circular polarizer for your beach videos, where it's just you filming the beach, because it will it adds like an ND. It adds like an ND2 to the lens, but it also like really takes any reflections out of the water, gives you really vivid saturation.
I'm at 1080p 60.
Doesn't matter.
You don't think? I mean, because that's my point. Is it like a lot of the stuff I do, people are like, oh my god, you should get it, and I'm like, dude, I don't even 2K, 4K, none of that. So maybe I should. I don't know. Maybe I'm leaving money on the table, as they say.
Well, I think I think you should film everything in 5K.
Yes,
you
of course.
Have the options.
I know.
And I think you should film it all at 24 frames per second to get that.
You know how I edit, right?
You know, you just
in Chrome.
You're almost as bad as actually you might be worse than Suburban Beard. Suburban Beard, I think he's at the point where like his style is an art now. He's purposely leaving shit in that most people would cut out.
It falls the camera on the floor, picks it back up
because he's like, yeah, whatever.
It's real life.
It's what people want.
Yes,
and like he cuts in vertical footage into his
absolutely.
videos.
Yeah, well, luckily I don't do that. I don't think I much.
Actually, if you were really going crazy though, you would shoot 5K at the 4:3 aspect ratio, 24 frames per second with the ND filters. Then you would crop to 16:9 in post.
No, Dana would do that.
Well, I mean, if I was shooting beach videos like you do, I would do that all day. 5K, 4:3. So, and then crop to the appropriate aspect in post.
Yeah, remember that I'm making these videos, and then 90% of the rest of the time, just on the beach with myself, the camera off.
So I'm like just film the beach, like what I would do is I'd buy the twist on ND filters because you get those really sunny beaches for the sunset.
The same price, twist on?
No, they're like just the set. You can get them only from GoPro at this point.
Fuck that.
They're 3,000 baht, they're just over $100.
Yeah.
And then
from the website?
Yeah. Well, no, this time you get it for like 79.
It was still the shipping.
And then shipping,
stupid, yeah.
And then you'll get the on top of that, then you throw the CF filter over that, right? So
what's CF?
CPL, circular polarizer.
Okay.
So get the circular polarizer, put it over your ND filter, and just film the beach. 4:3, 5K aspect ratio, 4:3 aspect ratio, 5K, 24 frames per second, super cinematic. Just sit there, film the beach with that. You'll have beautiful dynamic range and great color saturation.
The whole time you were saying all those words, I was just thinking about how awesome my shirt is.
Fuck you. Up top.
Yeah, we have an up top today. What's up with that?
It's been months. We're out of practice.
Okay, I know this is going to sound a little bit weird, but this is did you miss hanging out?
Absolutely.
Fuck, dude. We were chatting and shit, but it's like
I'm happy you're on a beach.
Oh,
I know that's your happy place.
Yeah.
Mike's gonna get back. We gotta hang out.
Oh, dude, the back thing too. Yeah, I'm just like
I had to have surgery.
So you guys ready for this? I throw my back out, like I can't even tie my fucking shoes. And he's like, yeah, how you doing? I'm like, I don't know, dude. Don't worry about it. I'm good. The following day, your entire mouth basically is shot off with a shotgun. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, and we're not even 60.
No.
You're 40.
Yeah.
3. Happy birthday.
42.
42. Yeah. You sure? No, ask Jim.
Jim will say I'm 43. I turned 42.
You turned 42 this year, 2021.
But yeah, it was a tough start to the year. And then I was at the hospital yesterday having my ear checked. So I had,
with this?
After the whole jaw thing, right? I started to have like a little bit of infection in my ear. So the doctor, he removed so much wax from my ear.
Oh, this is don't touch your ear.
Pulled like a fucking boulder out of my right ear.
Do they lavage it with the warm water? And
no. So they have a suction thing. So he just gets in there and
okay.
I couldn't hear very well out of my right ear. He literally removed like a ball of wax. It was like layers to it, and it had like a little film on the outside. And then he took a lot out of the left ear as well, but the right ear really built up. And so like I told him, like since I went deaf, I hadn't cleaned my ears at all.
Yeah, right.
Just the outside.
Because the guy's like, whatever you do, don't put anything
in your ear.
Sure.
And so he's like, well, what do you do? I was like, well, I do rub it sometimes. And
like it itches, you scratch it, you mean?
43, according to Jim.
Exactly.
I think every guy can say they have some strange but so I was rubbing it, and he's like, well, don't rub it because then you're like agitating the wax inside and like forcing it back in. It's what's causing this buildup. So for the week after, so I went there last week and he cleaned it out and I could hear great.
Oh, it must have been amazing.
He put me on some antibiotics and some antihistamines. Came home, took those for a week. Feel good, right? No
antibiotics.
Yeah, to clean up the infection. So there was a little bit of infection in my ear.
My goodness.
So
you have bad luck with that ear, dude.
I've had horrible. So I went back yesterday. He's looking at it. He's like, well, you've had so many infections in your ear that there's all this like these bad cells.
Okay.
In the canal, and
they attach. You
have wax that's like really just stuck in there and like build up. So he started to abrade it and clean it out yesterday, and it was a bit painful at times, like because it's really sensitive.
There's no solution you can just put in there and it'll dissolve.
Even like trying to soften it, it's just like some of it's just petrified.
Wow.
And so he got some of it off, but he poked my eardrum a few times. So after we left the hospital, we walked to Donkey in Ekamai.
Yeah, that's where you got these things, right? Yeah. I've never heard of Donkey, but
it's like a really cool Japanese place. But I started to get vertigo as we were checking out. And
Jesus,
I think from him poking my eardrum.
Yeah.
And so
inner ear.
Yeah. So because he's like literally poking it. So I went and sat down. We came home and I slept for a little bit. But I've got to go back next week, and he's gonna continue to like remove the cells. He thinks like he can get it all cleared out to the point where my ear will stop getting infected so frequently.
And how come doctors that you met before you met this guy never went through that process?
I think for the most part they're concerned about treating the
pain immediately, get
it clean, let it. But he's like, because he like really went in. Then I went back to see him the next week. I think this doctor, he was really good, but I think he's concerned like I'm not going to show up next week because there was pain this week.
Yeah, sure.
He's like, are you going to come back? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to come back. Like,
till I fall over on Ekamai.
Like, pain's part of the process. I mean, like you're making it better. So,
sure.
If it's going to continue and you think you can stop me from getting ear infections, I'll deal with the pain.
So ear infections, I mean, since you and I have been doing Bangkok Strange, I would say this is now your fourth one.
Yeah.
And so you're every quarter, you basically get an ear infection, huh?
Yeah, I get them quite frequently.
Now, why does the body make earwax?
To protect the air.
Oh, does it? Seriously?
Yeah. It's sebum. Yeah, it's to protect the air.
Interesting.
Sort of seal it up.
Huh. I'm making some right now.
Earwax? With the headphones on.
Oh, you are making a lot of it.
So he told me like the other thing is like you can wear the headphones, no problem. He's like, but usually I'll rub the conch. I'll rub like this part of my ear after I have the headphones on.
The clitoris, actually, is what it's called.
The ear clitoris makes sense.
Exactly. Well, it feels pretty good when you touch it, right?
Yeah, and so
boom.
He said, don't do that. That's what he's like. That shaking is agitating the wax and putting it back in, making that layers.
Wonder what he does. Excuse me, with the wax. Did you see Maganja's question?
What?
Did you name it?
Oh, did I name it?
That was pretty
No,
important.
I should have.
Make a necklace out of it.
It was stillborn, so I didn't really...
Yeah, that's true. You're going to kind of move on.
Yeah. Yeah, so I can't rub it, can't do anything, and so I can't clean, I can't scrape the inside anymore.
Yeah, okay, so you give me a screenshot of this toolkit.
Yes.
Basically the ND filters of ear canals. Yeah. And I mean like little scoops, little spoons.
Yeah.
My God, I use Q-tips that I buy at Mr. DIY.
Q-tips are the worst. It's what impacts the wax.
Yes, if you use it incorrectly. I mean, again, the outside and that sort of thing.
The outside, yeah, but I don't even fuck with it anymore.
I don't blame you. I would outsource my ears all day long.
Yeah, so. Yeah.
Plus, this doctor sounds like a friggin' rock star.
Yeah, he's great. And like I said, he got in there.
What hospital is this?
Chameleon.
Really?
Yeah.
So here's why I asked him that, because I asked you about something. I don't know why.
Dental. We were talking about dental. Earlier.
No, remember my back hurt.
Oh, yeah, your back. Yeah,
and I'm like, yeah, where can I go to like get a doctor to? And so I went to Chameleon.
Yeah.
Now, it was cheaper.
Yeah.
and the customer service was pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's pretty good. I mean, remember, I'm used to Sukhumvit Hospital, which is on par with I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Samiti Wet. And I've never had much of a Bumrungrad experience, so I can't say what that's like. But I mean, the customer service is pretty good. Chameleon was pretty decent. The facility is a little aging. Yeah,
more than a little. It's definitely got that 1970s decor.
Yeah, which again, I mean, you know, is it as long as there's no rust, basically on the right. The thing that bummed me out about the whole experience was the fact that I went on not just a holiday weekend that was normally a holiday weekend, but another sort of push from the government to advertise, have another holiday weekend. So I go there and the woman's like, we have a general, you know, on staff. We don't have an orthopedist or an orthopedic surgeon, you know? So I didn't get the full on, you know, experience, but, I liked the price. It's very reasonable.
So that's actually why I had to go to Chao Phraya Hospital for my the dental.
Oh, because they didn't have
didn't have the dental clinic open at Chameleon.
So should I go to Chao Phraya next?
I've never had medical treatment there, but if it's anything like their dental clinic, absolutely.
How far? Because both you guys used the word far. How far is far?
A 30-minute grab.
30-minute grab with traffic, or 30-minute?
No traffic either time we went.
Is there any way I can take an MRT or BTS that goes anywhere near?
They might eat. So it's on the other side of the river from the palace. There is an MRT stop
next to Waterroon.
Other side of the river, like into Pinklau.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, there's an MRT stop a couple kilometers.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's right, pretty far.
But it was like, I think 180 baht grab ride.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like being able to. I mean, Sukhumvit is ridiculous, right? You get off on Ekamai and boom, you're right there.
Well, for us, it's like you just jump on the highway at the end of Bangkok, and
that's
you go
true.
straight to Pinklau.
Right. That's pretty sweet.
It's just cutting through the city. That's the hard part.
And it's again, it's private hospital, no waiting, that sort of thing. Yeah.
No, I walked in. So actually, when I initially had the pain, I was in so much pain.
Oh, that's right. He said you were
I couldn't even open my eyes. I couldn't walk.
And you just woke up to this?
No, I didn't even get to go to. I was about to go to bed.
Well, the previous night.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It's like maybe 1 a.m. I'm about to go to bed.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh, something's not right with my tooth. And all of a sudden, it just like hit me with pain.
Really?
And I was like on my ass. And the only thing that kept it at bay was keeping cold water in my mouth, because that reduces the swelling of the pulp in the tooth.
Not ice, so just
no. And so I figured that out. I took lucky enough took a drink of water, and the pain went away.
Fine.
I'm like, oh. So I took another drink. So for a little while, I was drinking water to try to keep it. But then I started pissing like crazy.
Yeah, sure, of course.
So then I'm just putting cold water in my mouth. And so I sent Jib a message at like maybe 4 a.m, like, hey, when you wake up, we have to go to the hospital. Something's wrong with my tooth.
Wait, you sent your wife this? Isn't she like next to you?
She was upstairs. I was about to go to bed, and the pain hit me. So I'm like, I was like, I didn't even go upstairs.
Really?
And I thought like I would just go to the dentist, right?
The following morning. Yeah, I got it. Sure.
I'd be all right. So I was like, I'll just stay up. And by the time she woke up, I was in so much pain. I was standing over the sink, just like filling my cup and just splashing water in my mouth. So she goes out, gets me like 4 bottles of the big 1.5 liter bottles of drinking water.
Yeah, right.
And a big cup of ice.
Yeah.
Right. And so, like, I can't even think. I'm like, whatever. And she's like putting the water in the ice for me, like really.
So pain medication, this didn't even occur to you? I mean,
I didn't have it. I took Tylenol when it first hit. It did nothing.
Well, right, yeah.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I mean, like I said, if I didn't have water in my mouth, the
pain
was so intense, I couldn't open my eyes.
Dude.
Like physically couldn't open my eyes.
Man.
So we actually went to a different hospital first, because Jib had called them like, oh yeah, our dental clinic's open. And I got that I was in so much pain. They're like, oh, you have to wait like a couple hours to see a dentist. It's just like,
not happening.
Fuck no. Takes me to Chao Phraya Hospital. They get me out of the taxi, like put me in a wheelchair, right? Bring me right in. And like, it's funny because like I couldn't even stand, I couldn't look. And and I got to pee like every 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Even when I'm just holding the water in my mouth until it's not cold enough anymore, I'm still drinking a little bit. And so the girls like check me in, like they rush everything and help Jib do the paperwork. They bring me to the dental clinic, and the staff at the dental clinic is like, "Oh, you'll see the dentist next.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's seeing someone right now, and you'll see him next." And so I go to the bathroom, I come back, they go, boom, bring me in. And I couldn't even lay back in the chair long enough for him to look at the tooth without putting water in my mouth because there's so much pain. So he's like, I can't get in there to check. He's like, let me send you for an x-ray.
Oh, yeah.
And so like water in my mouth, I'm going to spit it. They take the x-ray, more water in my mouth, and they have to do the 360.
Oh, God.
So like I put water in my mouth, hold it as long as I
Can't
can.
move.
Then bite down the thing and like it's spin around. Like as it's coming around the last bend, I'm almost collapsing from pain.
Right.
And when it beeps, I let go and
I'm done.
I grab the water. And he had already given me a shot at this point. Like the last thing he did before he sent me for the x-ray was inject Novocaine, and he hit the nerve. Right, so I know that he got it in the right spot.
Yeah,
you feel it on the bottom. You feel it like your tongue goes up. So I'm like, he's got the right spot.
Yeah.
And that took the pain from like a 12 to a 7.
Jesus Christ.
And like, so he gave me a second and a third shot, and that took the pain down to like a 2.
Okay.
And you know,
still though,
but the first shot took forever to kick in. Yeah. But the second shot, as soon as he got it in there, it's like,
yeah.
So and like that whole side of your lower jaw and face goes down. It's fantastic.
Agreed.
But and like I almost fell asleep in the chair while he was doing the.
Well,
the
you're so stressed. Yeah. Well, plus it was what 5 in the morning.
Yeah, no, we didn't get. Jib woke up at like 8, and so
and you waited. That's weird.
Yeah, well, I'm like I can't even walk upstairs because I'll be in so much pain. Right. Like by the time I get to the top of the stairs, so.
Oh my God!
When she woke up, she was like, "She was like, no, you should have come and woke me up." I was like, "Don't worry about that.
Move on." Sure, right, of course, but yeah.
And you know, so they fixed it. And when he fixed it, like after the pain was gone and like he got all the infection out and like basically, you know, scraped. He said the tooth was actually cracked. It's probably been cracked for like 10, 20 years. And so.
Oh yeah, we talked about
and so, you know, he had to scrape all the old cells out. And so, but I'll tell you, I was like a completely different human being after the pressure was relieved.
Yeah.
And we were walking out of the hospital, and the attendants are like, "He can walk?"
Yeah, no doubt. Like, what happened?
Yeah, and she's like, "Wow." And then Jim had like, "Yeah, now that the pain's gone."
Like we thought he lost his femur in the friggin' car.
So when we got home, I passed out. Like I'm gonna lay down for a little bit.
Yeah.
I basically slept for like 6 hours.
Outstanding.
Yeah,
that's great. Jesus, dude, that's I mean,
then I woke up and I messaged you like, "Hey, how's your back?"
No, I know. And I was just like, I'm like, well, but to be fair, I mean, I couldn't, you know, it wasn't. Well, the good news for you is that it sucked.
Yeah.
But you know, I was thinking about this because many people were asking me about my back, which I totally appreciate. I'm one of these guys that like when I get sick or I get a pain or whatever, it seems like it is a lot.
Well, I knew,
but then it goes away.
You were taking stuff that it wasn't even helping.
Yeah,
and so we were having that conversation.
So
like, ongoing
thank
with
you
your pain.
for that.
But
by the way.
So that's
accountability
why I
partner.
was like checking in on you like every day. And so like as soon as I woke up from my nap,
how much morphine? I
gotta check with Mike.
Yeah.
But you had been off it for like a couple of days.
No, it was, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Here's the downside of kind of what the process, the chemical process I put my body through. Like you take like 1 Tylenol, 500 extra strength, and they're like, "Oh my God, my headache's still here," and I'm like, "Well, take another one." And they're like, "Oh my God, how many do you normally take when you have a headache?" I don't know, 3, 4. For whatever reason, my body either metabolizes it or it doesn't. So this morphine that this guy gives me, because this is like the 4th medication now.
Yeah.
I will tell you that overall, I would have to say probably the best bang for the buck for me, tramadol.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Yeah. So it's kind of like
strong.
It's before morphine, actually, which is interesting. To the point where so around here when you get medication, it's usually in a clear, container or whatever. Yeah. So when I get medication, it's in a brown plastic bag with a shitload because you can only get it once a week. Okay. So anyway, so they give me 100 milligram tramadol tablets and the what is that? The blue thing, white and blue.
Viagra.
Exactly.
Tony Hughes told me he takes it every day.
Maybe that's what I should have done is walk around, start knocking lamps over. But the tramadol was pretty amazing. But I was taking like 1 and 200 milligrams of that. Yeah,
the bag, the way they put it, the different color bags is funny. It's like my antibiotics will always come in a brown bag.
Yeah,
especially the strong ones.
Yes. Yeah.
I can buy amoxicillin over the counter here. Yeah. But like when I go in for ear infections, like no, you're not getting amoxicillin.
Brown, you get see me in 2 days.
Yeah.
Right.
And but I don't usually take painkillers. Like if I have like normally like the 2 thing, like I was in a out of 10 I was at a 12.
Sure.
But when it was done, I was like, I don't need pain medicine. There's no more pain. He's like, oh, you're gonna be sore from the sore is nothing.
Yeah, you have to do it. And that's the thing. It's one of those back. I know you've had back problems. It's one of those back deals where like you kind of move and you you hold your breath. Like you can't breathe. It's like that. But I tell you, I found a new process of my sneakers. Is I take the laces out, at the top where you normally tie the bow. I take them out. I tie knots on either side, and then I put it down the side, and then I tie a bow at the front, and I could slip them on and off because I literally couldn't bend down to like I was in a like women usually, but they would come up, they would like put my shoes on for me, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting at first, but I've lost the novelty of this is pissing me off.
I'll get you some of those elastic laces that all the kids.
Well, that's one of the. I think Joe, in fact, was. I got to get these Velcro sneakers. That really worked great.
Black on black Velcro.
Jesus Christ! I was almost wearing like socks with my friggin' Birkenstocks, looking all hip.
Yeah, I went out one night with the Jib this week, and I had socks on in the house for some reason. We must have been out. I had my shoes on.
Well, it's freezing in Bangkok,
and I threw my my Tevas on. And I have my socks on. And Jim's like, so you trying to cheat on me? Pick up some chick at 7-Eleven?
Exactly.
You're going out with your suspenders and your sock and Teva look? What's going on
here? Like, are those divorce papers that you just emailed? Yeah, this is not going to work for me long term. This is a fashion. But, I mean, you don't have gay earth shirts, so I can understand why I should be on the fence. But
the funny thing about the dental clinic, they have a sign to take your shoes off when you're in the dental chair.
Yeah.
So luckily I wore flip-flops my second time going, so I just kicked those off.
Yeah. Nice work.
But I will tell you that the level of pain, like when you have a back issue, like I know you have, when I first hurt my back, when I blew out the 2 discs, I had all the nerve issues. The pain medicine actually helped, but the problem was that I feel so shitty taking the opiates. Like I get breathing issues. Like I can't breathe very well. Yeah. I feel obviously lethargic all the time, but I also would get sick. Like I want to vomit all the time.
What's weird with me that I noticed, and this was, of course, being sober, right? It's like when I go to a hospital, they're like, "Oh, well, we'll just give you if you go to ER for pain." I mean, their goal is like remove the pain. We will put as much heroin in this guy as possible so that he can. And I'm like, no, I can't. And so what I discovered was when I'm in severe pain and they give me things like morphine or something like that, I do not feel out of it, provided I have enough pain such that is the solution for it. Yeah. When I start feeling out of it and lethargic and that sort of thing, I know I have too much in me. And the problem is that, before I got sober, right, the goal was just that feeling. Yeah. Fuck, of course I don't have pain. I just want to take drugs. Yeah. But I like it because then it's like, wow, I'm not, I'm certainly not getting addicted to this stuff. Yeah. But man, I mean, pain is it's debilitating. Like you literally can't do anything,
Joe wants to know what your shoe size is.
10.5 D, basically. If you're worried about, or you're asking about over here, I believe the conversion is 44,
45.
45, yeah, probably 44, 45.
Yeah,
I've also got really big hands, Joe. So big shoes, big gloves. Just saying.
I think I'm 47 or 48.
Wow, show off.
I wear a.
Is it hitting the? Is that what's dangling on the floor right now from where you're sitting? I was wondering.
Scraping.
That's probably why you wear socks, right? Just tuck it in the side.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
I've got the non-youngs I wear 47. I size down and they're so wide, they're super comfortable.
Those are the shoes that are like the prison ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta get me a pair of them.
So good.
Do you like the way I said that?
I do.
Yeah. Get me a pair of them.
$300.
Speaking of prison. BKK.FM is better than sex.
In prison.
In prison.
That was the best.
Do you have them?
No, not on this computer.
No, okay.
So when I heard that, I was like, oh, yeah, that's. And then he goes, in prison. And I'm just like, oh, that's.
Plus,
so
in that voice.
Yeah. Did you come up with that, or he just add that?
No. He's a voice.
Yeah.
Anything I type, he says.
Okay.
He doesn't ad lib. He doesn't change. Nice. He doesn't add. That's the way a voice guy works, right?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're like, where, hey, dude, what do you think I should say here? Sort of thing. But yeah, I just literally sent him an email. This was when we first, he like the autoresponder from his website, right? And then he comes back and he goes, yeah, it's gonna be, and I can, and he gave me the dry too, so I'm gonna be able to use the voice and do the thing. But yeah, I think his level of testosterone, I have not heard a voice like that on Thai radio ever.
No.
The other thing I was gonna ask, if you were to say, fairly educated, but like, come up with the question, what is the best marketing promotion ever in Thailand?
So Thai promotions are a bit different.
I understand.
So I want to say, I don't even remember what the brand was. It might have been True, but they did like a little mini movie.
Like the Thai commercials with emotion.
Yeah, it was like the doctor that got caught stealing, and then like that woman who caught him, and like the guy who like paid for the stuff he stole got like cancer, and then he paid for the guy's treatment.
And you immediately get out and get.
I'm tearing up just fucking thinking about this commercial. I mean, it was so emotional, but it was so good.
And you remember it.
And like the storytelling was phenomenal. I'm pretty sure it was true.
Yeah.
But oh man, it was so good. I think that's probably the best Thai promotion I've ever seen, because I have friends from around the world who saw that
video. Yeah.
And I mean, the story was touching, and then they're like, oh, it's a true story, and then they show the real doctor at the end. And
Jesus Christ.
And you're just like like tears running down. Like at least I'm tearing up right now just thinking about like how emotional that promotion commercial was. It's like a 5-minute movie.
Yeah.
And then there's another one a few years ago about a kid who was like would help everyone, and then like no matter what, like if they said like thank you or not, like that type of thing. And then like when he needed help, there was someone there for him, but he would like feed his food to the dog. He was just so selfless.
I know the one you're talking about.
Like that was good, but it wasn't as good as that the one with the kid.
Okay, so dial back from that whole rip your guts out heart thing, because again, that's that's short lived.
But it's not. This is 6 years ago I saw this. I'm still thinking about it.
Are you a true customer?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay.
But not because of that.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, because I'm a true customer on my phone, so I bought whatever the package. And actually,
came with the house.
They just called me. They just called me the other day.
Your...
No, they wanted to. They offered me unlimited data. I was like, I work from home. I'm on Wi-Fi all day. What do I need?
Unlimited on your phone. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And we are a true customer here, but that's geographic. It's like them or TOT. And it's not going to be TOT.
Totally. Yeah.
So
copper.
Yeah. So I've got glass to the house. So but I'm on phone just because it was like the best deal at the time. Jib's on AIS. If I could have done AIS with her, I would have.
Okay.
But I will say that they tried to upgrade me to unlimited data on the phone, and they're like, oh, right now you're capped at 30 gig. Like
fine.
Capped at 30 gig.
Yeah,
like,
if you use Wi-Fi at home,
line messages aren't.
Well, for me,
so when I stream Pornhub with my VPN, I'm on Wi-Fi.
You know what's funny about that? Everyone's like, "Oh my god!" I think I think it might be YouPorn that they talked about blocking, but one of those or whatever. Pornhub. Thank you. So I don't know if you know this, but the way that you actually just go to it, you just go to Pornhub.org. Isn't that ridiculous? I'm like, you're not blocking a series of IPs like a /20.
Jib is DTAC.
And wait, isn't that also true?
No, there's DTAC, AS, and true.
Okay, I thought there was
three different services.
Okay, I mean, I knew that they were separate, but for some reason I thought DTAC was part of something else. That's the little blue thingy.
Yeah. So they're all good.
You have 5G? No, it's an older phone. Yeah.
No,
I have 4G.
No, the phone doesn't even have 5G.
Yeah, I'm thinking upgrading, but
there's only a couple neighborhoods in Bangkok that have the.
I live right near the True Digital Park.
So you have it there. Yeah.
Solid glass with my fucking guy that makes my milkshakes.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think phone service, that was the best commercial I've ever seen in Thailand.
All right. So what about a mass commercial? Like one of the ones I'll never forget was when, and I don't remember the name of the company, which of course, obviously it wasn't effective for him. But you know how you see the BTS, it's got a wrap on it. And basically every single train that passes you, it's different than the last one.
Yeah. Right now it's Blackpink. There's almost all of them.
A lot of them, yes. But like even the train coming here this morning, obviously it was not obviously, but it was something different. But yes, Blackpink has done quite the shotgun marketing. They're very visible.
BTS and MRT.
Yes. But there was one company that literally
and Pepsi cans.
And you know what's funny is I'm like, well, maybe I'll buy one of those. I don't.
We bought one for Jam.
Yeah.
Because she likes the Thai girl in that group, Lisa.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, we'll buy this one. And
yeah.
I'm like, is it regular Pepsi? And Jim's like, yeah, same Pepsi. It's like a bot cheaper.
Pepsi Light, basically, the black, right? The Max.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. It's the Coke Zero of Pepsi. Right?
I used to drink that all the time. I stopped. Stopped drinking artificial sweeteners.
I haven't had the other thing too about this vegetable juice thing and all the water I'm drinking is I don't drink coffee in the morning. Now, again, I know you said my coffee is the coffee.
Drank coffee
I don't drink sugar in the morning. But of course I was doing it, for the caffeine, and then I would have like Coke Zero later in the day. I'd be here on the show and having.
So I used to drink Pepsi Max like a few times a day.
That's what this is.
And so now I stopped for like I probably stopped back in November.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was.
Yeah, so I stopped drinking that back in November. I still drink regular Pepsi or whatever.
High sugar.
Here it's made with sugar. Right?
Yeah, yeah. Actual.
I don't drink it that often, but like we had it like last Saturday when we watched movies. We made popcorn and got Pepsi.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. It's a process.
But I don't drink it daily.
Yeah.
And so, but I used to drink Pepsi Max daily.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I noticed I tried something the other day that wasn't sweetened. I forget.
It was artificial sweetening.
Yeah,
okay.
I think I got it from.
These are.
They gave me this has real sugar.
Is it really?
It's carnauba wax and sugar. And they gave me I think there's peptin in it too. But they gave me a bottle of like some type of sweetened drink, like sports drink at Rama 9.
Sport? What do you mean?
Like a bottle of like clear liquid sport drink. At, like they were giving them away at Central
okay.
Rama 9.
Yeah, got it.
And so I drank that, and it was artificially sweetened. I was like, it just doesn't taste right now. Like, after I haven't drank it for like a couple months.
Oh yeah, agreed. If I drink a regular Coke, it tastes gross to me because of course I'm used to the diet stuff. Like you, I've been drinking a lot of water. Now I got to pee.
Pepsi free for the back to absolutely. Why would I give you a Pepsi for free, buddy? Right, that's what they said when he was back in 1955. Yeah, what are you, dressed like a sailor? Back to the Future, greatest movie trilogy ever made, in my opinion. Actually, it's funny because the first one's obviously they're all so good, but I kind of like the third one with the Western theme. There was something about that particular one that was just different. And then when he comes in the train at the end, such a good movie. They're all good. I mean, I can't argue with the Back to the Future greatness. Pepsi tastes like embalming fluid. Hey, it probably is embalming fluid. But it's funny since I've lived here, I've acquired more of a taste for Pepsi than Coke. But root beer is still my go-to. I love root beer. Is it just me, or is Dana really quiet? Am I quiet? Am I not loud enough? Because my mic is set to the same level as Mike's. Yeah, first and third are the best. Yeah, first and third. The second is that the second now with the whole Trump thing, kind of, and like Biff being Trump is kind of like sort of funny and ironic all together. But the first and third are really great bookends for the trilogy. Do they have Dr. Pepper in Thailand? Oh, that's a good question. I don't think they do, because one of my friends used to ask me to bring Dr. Pepper back from the US when I would go. He's a big fan. I don't think I've ever seen it here. Oh my God, you found Dr. Pepper in some Western markets, really? In Chiang Mai, I guess? I don't think I've ever seen it. Villa might have it, I guess.
They sell 7-Eleven here? 7, Jesus Christ. They sell 7-Up here.
Yeah, they have 7-Up.
Why don't they have Dr. Pepper then?
I don't know. They have 7-Up. I've only ever seen Diet 7-Up here.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Should I do it before and after of what my tongue is going to look like until I drink my beet juice?
I had beetroot hummus the other day.
Good stuff.
Yeah, really good.
Fuck yes. Tons of sugar, but
delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Vanilla Coke is nice.
Not a fan. Had it. Don't like it.
Vanilla is not a flavor I like in
my beverage.
ESP cola wasn't too bad.
I thought it EST. I think is that what he's talking about?
Is that what you mean, Steve? The S cola that they sell here?
The what
Pepsi
is it?
ripoff?
20% less cost, is that?
So they used to be the Pepsi manufacturer in Thailand.
Oh, the bottler.
Yeah, no, they used to make it here. They
were
the outsourced manufacturer.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And then they're like, oh, we don't want to renew the contract. We're just going to make our own cola.
Wow. The Thais buy it.
And Pepsi tried to sue them, and they're like, no. They makes a cream soda that's neon green. And like I occasionally mix that with a bourbon.
Huh.
So this neon green and bourbon mix. And I'll call it the Samchai Smith, like the perfect mix of like Thai and American.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah, so he's seen it at villas.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Is RC Cola still around?
They're in the US, sure. Royal Crown, yeah.
Remember Tab?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was the first sugar-free beverage.
Easy access to Dr. Pepper is a sign of a well-developed nation.
Precisely.
Along with cornbread.
Cornbread
and Dr. Pepper.
Did you do anything for Christmas, New Year's? Did you do any sort of celebratory?
Hung out. We watched Die Hard.
Oh, right, because it was like the 4th or the 20th year or something. Is that why?
Oh, it's a Christmas movie.
Oh,
greatest Christmas.
I thought it was like this was 20 years now. Since
it takes place on, I think it's from 1984, right? So it takes place takes place on Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay.
It ends with a Christmas song.
Got it.
Classic Christmas movie.
Clearly, yeah.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Absolutely. Who doesn't say that at Christmas dinner?
Absolutely. So we watched that, had some popcorn, and then White Coke. I'm not sure you're talking about sodas anymore, Joe.
I tell you, I really didn't like Coke that much, but I love the smell. Big fan.
Smelled great?
Smelled great. And I would sample as many as I like. This might taste a little different.
You know the inhalers they use here with the menthol to clear your nostrils?
Yeah, I have one of those in my bag. Yeah,
you get a couple of those with that. I'm sure if you had that in America, you were walking around sniffing it all day. People would be interested in what you were doing.
That's how we did it.
People in blue uniforms are like, what are you doing?
It's Vicks, right?
Yeah.
The little thing we just used to have.
Basically, it was basically menthol oil.
Yeah. I like them. They're okay.
Tab was replaced by chocolate Coke. What?
Never heard of that.
Chocolate Coke.
I mean, they do have crazy. I mean, they have like, what is it? Seaweed flavored beer. They have weird flavored things. Or for me, they're weird. I'm sure for the Thais, they're normal. But...
December 24th, 1988. Sorry, Josh. Sorry.
Oh, wow. 88.
Never forget.
So to give you an idea of my chiropractor, his age, he says to me, when I was a little kid and my grandma brought me to go see Titanic, I was like, holy shit. I said, dude, how old are you? It's 32.
Grandma brought to see Titanic.
Yeah.
I never really got into that movie. I don't find it to be like the masterpiece everyone says.
The main reason I liked it is because of the significant amount of it that was filmed and or CGI'd in just south of San Diego. Down in the boat, right? In other words, they had, so that was kind of Ensenada.
And then it's funny because it's still like, I think the number 3 highest grossing movie ever or something.
Probably. I mean, it's got everything, right? I mean, it's got some degree of action. There is the gun, but it's not really, that, but it's love story, classic love story.
And then what Avatar that he made is number 1, right? Or was number 1, Avatar, his other movie?
That I don't know. But yes, I believe you're right as far as grossing.
Horrible movie, Avatar. So bad.
Absolutely.
I remember seeing it in the theaters like, why did I pay to watch
Smokey and the Bandit was a shitty movie too, but you even know about it.
Great movie. What are you talking about?
See, there you go.
Smokey and the Bandit. Great movie.
Did you ever want to buy a Firebird after that? I mean, shit, you did a girl from Revere. You absolutely wanted a fire. Actually,
IROC Z.
Yeah, Z28. I was going to say, you wanted an IROC T-tops?
Italian retard out cruising. Gotta have the T-tops.
Gotta have the T-tops, Bobby. You can't park here at the beach.
No, someone was saying on my live stream the other day that we should do a show only in Boston accents.
I could do that all day long.
All day, Bobby.
Yours is a little different though. See, mine's more Southie.
So because I got
you're more Revere.
I got that Rhode Island coming.
Exactly. You get the D's in there, Rhode Island.
Yeah, I spent 5 years in Boston. I picked up so much of the accent.
Dude, when I go home, day 2. It comes out. I'm like, this is pissa.
Wicked pissa.
This is wicked pissa, Bobby. Hey, Mikey, what are you doing over there? Don't worry about it. I'm up dunking.
Do you remember Adam Sandler's Toll Booth Willie out in Worcester?
Was he? That was where I was born, actually.
How you doing there, Bobby? Running through Worcester. Hey, welcome to Worcester.
I remember that was good. I remember there was this one skit on Saturday Night Live where the guy went through all of the names of the towns. He said, "Yeah, you over there in Swampscott? What about Cohasset?
What nice Pawtucket?
Friggin' Indians."
I'm
I'm so prejudiced.
The accent, man. So that New England accent it's
oh, it's not a New England accent. It's a Boston accent.
Well, the Rhode Island accent's very unique as well.
It is.
It's not as hard as the Boston accent. Like the Boston accent is like the pinnacle of New England accents.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. It's funny because you go up north to like Maine, New Hampshire, like you start to get a little redneckish in that accent.
Yeah.
You get north of Nashville where the Boston drops off, and you get a little bit more like New England redneck.
You do, yeah. And then northern Maine, that's almost, it's weird. Maine is almost like a combination of a Boston accent and like Dakotas or the Wisconsin kind of thing, Milwaukee.
Yeah, same in Vermont. You get like a little bit of that Minnesota.
Yeah, good thing I pulled my traps. Storm's coming.
So,
yeah, it's weird.
You know, it's definitely it's a weird. And then Connecticut's got nothing like accent wise,
which is weird, right? Because I mean, you would think it would have a spillover from Boston and New York.
Yeah, no, it's very neutral.
Did you grow up? I mean, obviously you had the accent.
Blood. Yeah.
When you would hear someone with a New York accent, my default setting was this person's stupid. You know, they just sounded ignorant to me. Whereas like now from California, you know, I go back to Boston, I'm like, Jesus Christ, you guys ever like graduate from junior high? Like,
yeah, like all like the like New or even like a Southern act, like that deep drawl. I'm like, you gotta be on the left of the bell curve. You gotta basically have all of the morphine that I was given to last me 2.5 months. You gotta take that all one night. How y'all doing that?
Way too slow.
When I lived in North Carolina, like some of the like people would say stuff and he was like,
yeah, no. Well, they don't ever say anything anyway.
Oh, Ladyboy Whisper, man. He's been out at the Palladium. You watching the wrestling down at the Palladium?
What I want to see,
Hulk Hogan?
I want to take him to like Alcazar as Ladyboy Whisperer. And then I want to have him do the pictures in the end. And then I want to see what happens. Because if you're a Ladyboy Whisperer and you're like standing next to him taking pictures, you must have skills, bro.
Wait, you couldn't say Peabody?
Peabody.
Worcester, Peabody.
Worcester's great because, of course, the way it's written, right?
Yeah,
completely wrong.
Worcestershire.
Worcester.
Yeah, Worcester was, and Worcester was only like 20 minutes from me when I lived in Rhode Island, like 30 minutes from Rhode Island. Drive up 147
north. Yeah.
So I dated a girl she was from Florida, from Hollywood, Florida.
Ooh,
and
nice.
she was
trailer park.
She was living in Worcester.
Yeah,
and now she's like married to a German guy living in like Berlin or something.
Huh.
But yeah,
step up.
So I remember I would go like we hung out a few times in Worcester, and like the locals in Worcester, like their accent, it's like someone gave the Boston accent a bunch of crack.
Yeah,
and like that's the Worcester accent.
Yeah, it's really weird if you think about it because I mean, it's got to have the highest density of high quality universities of any city.
Father Guido Saducci.
Oh, I remember him. God, how fucking who was that? Like mid 80s, maybe on SNL. Wow, that was a long time ago.
Boston, like so, you think about Cambridge, right? So Cambridge has Harvard and MIT basically next door to each other. What is it? Kendall Square for MIT and Harvard Square for Harvard.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's also other. I mean, there's Holy Cross, which also has like small like satellite campuses and that sort of thing. But yeah, MIT and Harvard, obviously.
MIT, Harvard, right in Cambridge, and across the river,
best universities in the world.
BU, Northeastern, Tufts, Suffolk.
Yeah, Tufts is in Somerville, but yeah.
No, the Tufts. They have the Washington Street campus.
Tufts Medical, yeah.
Tufts Dental. Tufts Dental.
Yeah. But
is medical there too?
Yeah, Somerville, yeah.
So, but they have the campus.
Tufts is actually a pretty good university.
But they have a campus in Boston and Suffolk.
They have,
Suffolk College is in Boston. Mass School of Art, Berkeley Conservatory, Massachusetts Conservatory.
UMass has some decent schools.
UMass Boston.
Well, that's Dorchester. It was over in Dot.
Dorchester's part of Boston, though.
Fucking not if you're from Dot.
Yeah, not if you're from Dorchester.
Yeah, I'm telling you what right now, Bobby, I take the fucking red line up there all day long.
So yeah, and then then there's all the second and third tier schools that like you just like falling over on each other. So like you get into the second tier, you're talking about like Wentworth, Mass Pharmacy.
Wentworth's not really.
It's a second tier school for sure.
What about Worcester Polytechnic? You think
that'd be above Wentworth for sure?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, quality wise, yeah. But what Wentworth has going for it is that it's in the city.
Yeah.
Whereas Worcester WPI is
way out,
and it's not even in Worcester. It's like on the outskirts somewhere.
What else is out there that's good? I think Amherst really is the only. Well, Amherst College and University.
I went to look at I could have gone to WPI. And
wow.
I went out there and
better piece of paper
in the middle of nowhere. I didn't get that piece of paper at that time anyway, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, but I mean, but you don't know that going in as a freshman.
No, I totally thought I was going to spend 4 years and graduate, not like drop out, start a company, go work for another company, and then go back to school 10 years later. You know. Oh,
so when you talk about going for your going to education at 30, right? So I went in when I was getting my master's. I was 39.
Okay.
And the reason I brought that up is because, I mean, the desperation, right, that like you have, at least I believe, when you're getting your bachelor's degree, like I got to do this. Whereas master's degree, you're like, no, this is totally my decision. Nobody's forcing me to do this, And man, first of all, it was easier because I wasn't so friggin' desperate, but I just got a lot more out of it. I loved it. I love getting my master's.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun in my master's as well. I think I was 32. When I started my master's.
Average age in mine was 40 because you had to have a minimum of 10 years management experience to go into it.
Yeah, so mine was an ICT, right? So
it's technical.
Yeah, technical. I was an engineer. Pretty easy application process. When I talked to the department head, ended up being my my advisor.
You did, and for that you don't take the GMATs, right?
I didn't have to. No.
Yeah, I mean, neither, not for my program.
Yeah, I think you only take the GMATs. Are they only for MBA?
That's a great question. Talk about a cash cow for every university on the planet, MBA. Jesus Christ, they pump those things out so fast.
I remember after I finished my master's, a bunch of my friends started doing these. They called it the International MBA from Cleveland State, and like you basically you did it online, and they sent you an iPad as part of your tuition. And it was a 12-month MBA.
Yeah.
But I remember I did mine, and I don't know if you need the GMATs for an MS degree.
Well, you would have known if you took it. I mean,
I did.
Oh, you mean in general, MS, versus just MBA?
Like, I don't know. Like, I think the GMATs are only for MBAs.
That's a great question. I don't know. I mean, the LSATs, obviously, law school.
Yeah. It's funny. A lot of schools aren't taking SATs now. A lot of universities aren't accepting SATs as part of their application process.
Why? Oh, because they think it's biased to white people?
Not just the whole bias thing, but they think it doesn't reflect the quality of the student as much as other things in their application process.
What's crazy is that the average GPA of anyone that gets accepted to USD and applied is a 4.0.
Really? Average.
That means more than 50% of the people graduate high school with like a 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.5 because of all the extra stuff. I didn't even know it was when I was graduating.
I didn't know you could get over a 4.
I didn't either, but they added in somehow, and I don't know whether it's like AP classes or whatever. I was stoked I didn't take the GMAT, dude. The SATs sucked. They have something like that here.
They have an exam probably even more stressful than the SATs because every student has to take it, and you're competing nationally with everyone for limited seats in each school.
But really?
Yeah. So all the public universities here, which are the best universities in Thailand.
What's the best public?
Mahidol.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then number 2 is like Chula, right? That's private, I thought.
No, they're all public.
Oh, they are.
So
except like Assumption's private, right?
Assumption's private. It's not a great school.
No, it's just really expensive, right? Yeah. It's the USD
of
Bangkok. Yeah.
So there are. So I think a lot of Jib will probably be in the comments because she's a Chula grad, but a lot of time people argue Chula is the best school. It definitely has the best reputation.
Yeah, I was going to say very well respected. Yeah,
it's like the Harvard of Thailand.
Yeah,
but
which is I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah.
It's like the Uber of whatever.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Even though Grab is enormous.
Yeah. So the school wise, I believe Mahidol is still the number 1 ranked school in Thailand. It's the highest ranked overall globally.
And didn't you say it's got, in your opinion, the best international program?
Yeah, the MUIC.
Yeah,
for sure. And actually, a beautiful campus. It's just not in the city.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Salia, but Chula's campus is like smack in it's in Times Square.
And it's also got shitloads of it's got this Chula Vista campus is in friggin' Prachap Kurikan.
And so then
it's crazy.
King Mongkut Lakarbang's another
King Mongkut,
one of the top schools in Thailand.
Engineering too, huh?
Yeah, for engineering, for design. Chiang Mai University.
Chiang Mai University?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
And then
do they teach drop shipping?
you would think
that must be their number 1 You know,
it's actually one of the top schools in the country, Chiang Mai, like a legit university. It's a beautiful campus.
So is it $47 a month, or do they just like? Come on, dude. We haven't fucking talked about that forever.
Oh my god, I can't even. We used to be able to go. We used to be able to riff on drop shipping for days.
I'm not gonna say who it was, but bless his heart, one of the guys sends me an email and says, "Hey, I know you guys like joking around, but have you ever had any success with drop shipping?"
Jib's up here to argue with me about Chula, saying that it's not the best school in Thailand.
Well, I mean, it's again, yeah, like you said, it's got the best reputation.
Best reputation by far,
for sure.
But it's not number one. It's a fact. Numbers don't lie.
How do they rate it though?
It's internationally rated.
I mean, there's no university in Thailand. It's in even the top 200 for Christ's sake.
No, not even top 400.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it was that bad.
Here's the thing.
That's too bad.
SIT, where I was a PhD student, they always say they're the number one PhD or graduate school in Thailand because of their research output, which is how they do
grants. You mean?
Published papers.
Oh, public.
and because they have such a high publishing requirement for each degree,
yeah, that's fair.
They're constantly cranking out a ton of research.
Good for them.
Not the best research.
Yeah, but it's published.
Yeah.
So is my book on Amazon.
But then they have undergrads who can't speak English.
Yeah,
right?
you told me about that.
And they're getting computer science degrees. And actually,
amazing.
they changed the computer science program to be called computer engineering because everyone wants to be an engineer.
Jim, let me ask you. So, like, when I was growing up in Boston, right?
Jib's right here in the room for you guys.
Actually, I'm just yelling at the wall, hoping that she'll hear me downstairs, and with the 27-second delay. When you were in college, were you like, I really want to go to Chula? Like, were you and all your friends, you guys wanted to go to Chula?
That time, like, if you can go into Chula,
yeah,
you kind of like your first step of successful.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Because I mean, at the end of the day, we had guys from my high school that went to Harvard. That was a big friggin' deal.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's where, like, well, first of all, the rich, you would label them, would go. Is that true with Chula? There's some degree of sort of financial status.
What's that?
If you're a Chula student, is your family, is the generalization that you're wealthier? Chulalongkorn University is number 2 on some lists.
It's topuniversities.com. It says 208.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah,
I don't even think that's right though.
It depends on the index that they use.
Mm-hmm.
U.S. News and World Report.
How many accreditations?
But anyway, so Token Nomad brings up the most important factor though when it comes to universities. In that,
that's
Chula
true.
has some of the hottest girls.
Some of them. Yeah, that's why I always go over to Siam. Best pharmacy in the entire world is right down the street from Chulalongkorn University.
There was actually a great cartoon a few years ago of that because Japanese people have started to fetishize the way Thai university students dress, and so someone did a cartoon because of the uniforms. And so Chula doesn't really have the same issue because the girls with the long skirts.
Yeah, the long skirt, right? That's what I thought, yeah.
Oh no, not Tamasa and not especially at the private universities.
What do they wear, like a mini skirt then? Plaid?
Like a belt for a skirt.
Oh my God. I've been wanting to know this forever. It seems like there is one size belt that is issued to every student, and depending upon how they just wrap it around. Is that true? Is there only one size belt that is offered to you when you're 14 years old and you have to use that for the rest of your adult life?
The uniform belt that they were.
Like if you're like small like me, you have the short one.
No, okay.
Big like him, you can get
I see women your size.
Put 2 of them together and
I see women your size all the time on the BTS, and their belt is wrapped around their body like 1.5 times. Why don't you buy?
If you look at their belts, you'll see that when they wrap it around, they put some type of clip on the back.
Yes, like the black thing, stationary.
But some of them will be like a fashion clip, like a cartoon character or something like that.
So I guess for a girl who wear like 1.5,
yeah,
it's like they're willing to show that they're small, but actually they might bought like the longest one.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I should do that.
Make it look like they're small.
I should get like a 70-inch belt. I'd be like, oh my God, look at how thin I am.
So
Jesus Christ, I've been drinking this damn juice.
Chula has a joint MBA program with Kellogg, not Wharton. So I believe that's the Sasson
Kellogg
program.
School of Management.
Yeah, that's probably Sasson, the international, which is no MBA.
Yeah.
So and Sasson is hands down the best business school in Thailand. Their MBA program is phenomenal.
Okay.
And like actually the level like professors who are like VCs in Singapore, stuff like that, like So I can see that being related to Kellogg or Wharton or whoever. Jib's brother actually is he does
what's that?
He does the international accreditation for the Faculty of Economics at Chula.
Isn't it weird? That's an interesting sort of label, the Faculty of.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you don't get that in the U.S.
No. At big universities, you do.
Like colleges, the sort of thing. They have colleges inside of a university.
So, like, one of my friends, what is it? At BU, they have the College of, and then inside the college, the Faculty of.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Hold on, we haven't done this in a while.
Back in the mid-90s, Chula MBA was top 5 in Asia due to its collaboration with Kellogg, I believe. I'll tell you what, that Sasson MBA is probably still one of the best in Asia. I wouldn't doubt it, just because in the level of stuff they're doing out of Assassin right now is phenomenal. Jib doesn't want me to talk about. I'll tell you what, I teach at Chula. At the Faculty of Communication
you'd like
Design.
that though. It's
and the level of, I'll be teaching again in February. The level of student is insane.
The bachelor's,
nice, out of this world. And
I do miss that big time.
Of everywhere I've taught in Thailand, the 2 schools that have absolutely phenomenal undergrad students that I've interacted with, Chula and King Mongkut.
King Mongkut, yeah.
The 2, I mean, just out of this world. And I've taught it a couple of universities where the level of undergrad was horrible.
You said they didn't know English, kind of thing. Yeah, that's true.
I know the guy who does the who did the admissions testing for one of the schools. I'm not going to say which one. Sure. But he did not recommend a bunch of students, and then the school let them in anyway because they could pay.
Yeah, sure, of course.
And
it is a business.
And I guarantee you, at Chula this year, the incoming students, they're going to have an even bigger pool to pick from because no one's going international.
What?
So, like, no one's going to America to study at university.
Got it.
No one's going to England.
Understood. Yeah.
Right. So they're going to have a bigger pool of high quality students to pick from. But I'll tell you, the students I had in Chula, and the most refreshing thing when you're a teacher in Thailand is to get students who will question you. Not even
bachelor students,
even just ask questions.
Sure, right, yeah.
But to like actually question you as a teacher. And when at Chula and King Mongkut, they both really challenge ideas, and that's great. I'm like, all right, let's talk about why do you think that, and they'll get into it. And that's the best as a teacher. It's the best feeling.
I agree. I used to do leadership classes at the kind of senior level / early masters, and it was awesome. I mean, these students were just like, I'm like, look, here's the deal. You guys are young enough and naive enough to think you're going to go change the world. So do. Yeah. Because you need to cure cancer. It's really starting to fucking piss me off that we don't have a cure to that thing. That's ridiculous. Figure it out.
And I remember even when I taught at ITT Tech in the U.S., which is by no means they'll take anyone who can pay, right?
It's the Sears of universities.
And if you can't pay, they'll get you a loan. But one of the things I really liked, one of the things I really liked about teaching there was that all the kids, and everyone was essentially a kid in my class, except one guy was older. He'd actually like broken his back and leg in a truck accident at work. Wow. And got like money from the government to go back to school. Nice. And of course, ITT Tech was willing to take it.
Shocker.
But all these guys they had a goal of getting a job in the industry at the end of this degree.
It's a trade school to some degree.
And IT is really a trade.
Certainly now. Yeah, absolutely.
And so at that level, especially, and it's funny because like just about a year ago, one of my old students from ITT Tech was really one of my good students, wrote me, and he was like, he's like, you changed the way I think about problem solving and all this stuff, which was great. He's like, well, I'm so upset that like I see you're not an engineer anymore. What happened? Yeah, right, sure. I'm like, well, man, everyone like certain things that if it's not challenging, you got to move on.
She just I met this hot chick that graduated from Chula, totally blew me away. Yeah, so
moved to Thailand,
and now I sew.
Yeah. Slap it down. Let it roll out.
What time is it? 11:20. Yeah.
2:13. You guys should have Ed from Bangkok podcast on. Very sharp guy and a poli-sci prof at the university there in BKK. a lawyer in his former life.
I emailed those guys are very, very cool.
Yeah, they have a good show.
Yeah, they have an excellent show. I mean, it is so PBS quality.
Yeah,
it's just outstanding. They're very appropriate. I don't think they've ever talked over 50 minutes.
No, they're not Bangkok Strange quality.
I mean, they have an intro, they have a middle, they have a little thing that they do at the end. Yeah. They have the ending. I mean, it's almost like they're just playing a friggin' card. It's just like
it is very a PBS quality.
Oh, they pick a topic,
an NPR quality show.
Yeah, for sure. And quite frankly, I'm a little bummed that they're not like picked up by, some sort of thing like that. But I mean,
I think the whole idea of the podcast, right, is you grow it. Actually, the Dapper Villains podcast, I got my numbers in last week. Top 200 in the U.S. in fashion and beauty.
In fashion and beauty, nice.
Very, very competitive category.
What does that make it have, like 10,000 downloads or something?
We have over 30,000 a month on Bangkok Strange.
On Bangkok Strange or on
Dapper Villains? Dapper Villains.
Yeah, Bangkok Strange. I mean, we haven't done a podcast.
Nah. Yeah, we haven't recorded. We gotta start recording this year.
Get on the BTS. I can walk.
Yeah, we gotta do the BTS videos now that you can walk and
dueling Hero 9s.
Yeah, let me get off my current round of medication. We'll plan it.
Antibiotics.
Yeah, I'm doing drops, and so it's like.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Balance.
Yeah, give me a week and we'll start planning.
That sounds good.
Or we can start planning and give me a week. We'll start recording.
We're going to start all the way at the end of the northern.
No, I think we'll go south.
Oh, go to Kia
because it's close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, closer. Sure. Yeah.
Close.
And then just go one stop.
Yeah.
Just go. Okay, be good. Yeah, there's that 4-headed elephant thingy down there that I dig.
So you've been recording with your Hero 9, no media mod. Are you doing anything with your audio? You're just throwing it in.
Just throwing it in. It's fucking amazing. I just throw it on the motorcycle, 60 kilometers down the road.
The motorbike is pretty wild.
True, but did you see my last few where I had like a bigger motorbike, like a 150? It was like louder.
No.
For some reason, it was still able to get rid of the white noise and everything from the driving, but for some reason, the vibration of the engine, I think, translating up through the thing. My voice, my speaking wasn't as pronounced as on like the click.
Okay.
Now I could have been physically further away. I don't know, but
so talking to my Dapper Villains, it's just dappervillains.com. You can check it out there. All those shows post. We're actually getting ready to launch our first line. We're doing samples right now.
Your first line? I thought you've been doing stuff with this forever, so the bags.
We've got the masks and the bags. We're actually putting a whole line together. There'll be a waistcoat. There'll be denim. Everything will be on.
Talk to me about the gold denim, the brown.
That was wild,
the
right?
Light, yeah.
Yeah, it was actually metallic gold.
And that's the outside. I thought that was like the inside liner.
No, the inside's black.
That's kind of weird, but
so no, because denim has warp and weft, so like each side's different colors. So
I know.
It's got the indigo, and then inside is the linen.
That's what I mean, though. I would think the outside would have been black and the inside would have been gold. No, but that's kind of cool.
Super bling.
Expensive?
Yeah.
See.
And so actually, a few of my clients are talking to me. They want to do like something limited with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
like it wouldn't be a Dapper Villains thing, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay.
Limited edition. Wearing it right now. Pretty gay.
Very, very limited.
Very gay.
One of one.
I think he said he's got the next 2 months
done.
Yeah.
So you gotta go pick those up.
I should. Yeah. Now that I'm back here for a while.
Yeah.
The thing that bums me out is that it finally started hurting me after about 2.5 weeks of solid travel.
Yeah.
So backpack, heavy laptop, wearing that pretty much all day, every day, cruising around on the motorbike. So now I'm like, well, fuck, I can't wear my backpack. I like to have my laptop with me. I like to have, all that stuff. So I don't know what I'm going to do for travel. I'm going to carry around a piece of roller luggage. It's a pain in the ass, but maybe I'm too friggin' old now.
Yeah.
Maybe I need the luggage.
You just start hang out in Bangkok more. Let's keep recording. Get Bangkok. You gotta get Bangkok FM up off the ground.
BKK.FM, yeah.
BKK.FM.
My buddy owns Bangkok.FM. Actually, it's kind of.
That's the guy you told me you went out and met him over Rama 9.
He's over. Yeah, he's over behind Fortune Town.
Before we go, talk about what's the plan for BKK.FM.
The plan is ever expanding because then I'll have an idea and I'll be like, yeah, that will work or that won't work. Right now, as you know, I got my voice guy, so he voiced just basically 4 demo deals, sweepers we call them. Bumpers,
really good ones.
Yeah, they're pretty good. And the production, the cool part is that his voice is so fucking amazing that I don't need to have a whole lot of behind and stuff. There's one where like we sample, that orgasm scene from what is it, Sleepless in Seattle or something? Yeah.
No, When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, When Harry Met Sally. Yeah, and so I'm okay with that, because again, it's starting here but the couple things. One is the goal is to truly show the world, because of course this is an internet station. So it's not just like, oh yeah, I've only got a 50,000 watt. No, I've got everyone in the world can literally listen to this thing. That Bangkok is the best fucking city in the whole entire world. And the reasons behind it, because it is so just amazing in so many levels. The modernness of it, as well as the
antiquity of it.
The antiquity of it. Thank you. And so anyway, I haven't decided whether I'm going to do talk shows on it. I don't believe so. I think it's going to probably be right now, the way I want to do it is I want it to have that just high energy, explosive, in your face, oh my God, totally awesome radio from like the 80s and 90s. Like the screaming, puking DJs like on there. Z100 New York, K-Rock Los Angeles. I mean, just so far so good, because that guy's got, 19testicles.com.
Yeah. So you 24/7, you have DJs on there. What's the plan?
So absolutely has to be 24/7, because I want to be global. So therefore 6 a.m. there, 6 p.m. here, right?
Yeah.
And so yes, I would like to have DJs. I would like to have live something. I got to figure out, like Flex 102.5, right? The studio they have there in the mall. I saw that. I was like, oh my God, I fell in love with that, because I think that is just really awesome. So I got to figure out a solution to that, because I don't know whether it's just like, oh yeah, do I rent a friggin' thing and make it? Because you can make anything a studio. I don't need a $25,000 mixing console any longer. It's and all the software is pretty much free. You can use. So
what's the music like? How do you legally stream music?
Well, so the short answer is that what you do is you pay a royalty based on the number of people that come to your website, as well as income. Obviously, there's zero income, so that doesn't come into play. In theory, what I'm supposed to be doing, and of course, the nice thing is pretty much every software that you buy, piece of software that you buy, automation software, will do this for you. You need to report to ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, and Sound Exchange. You need to report to those 4 licensing sort of things. I believe it's either quarterly or monthly or something like that, and say this is how many, and then each of them will effectively send you a bill.
Okay.
But once if I start like generating revenue and that sort of thing, then it becomes, for example, the radio station in San Diego that I worked for, every song we played cost us $12,000. But you don't pay $12,000 because you're only making $13,000.
Yeah,
you pay. So that's why. God, I wonder why these radio stations only play 300 songs. It's not like you fucking afford.
Yeah,
you have a playlist of 2,000 songs, you go fucking bankrupt.
So how does it work with internet radio?
So that's the way it works. Is you basically report to ASCAP, BMI,
so
CSAC.
What will those bills be?
Oh Jesus! I mean, it would be a portion of revenue. So like literally, like I've been streaming for the last 30 years basically.
So zero revenue.
Zero.
So you
pay
zero.
Yeah, you just and like I have another station that I started, and it automatically submits the numbers. There's $0, $0. They're just like, okay, well, you got no one listening.
Yeah.
So you're not, you did that, which is nice.
So what if you have thousands of people listening, but you're not generating revenue?
Well, that's the thing, is that it'll be very limited.
Yeah.
But at the point where you sort of start getting millions and millions of people listening, then what would likely happen is that you would probably get individual licensing, like I want to say WMD, but I know that's not right. And effectively Warner Brothers, right? And they're the reasons why, like, for example, you can, like, right now we could not play an AC/DC song anywhere in the world. They won't even allow the audio to go there and take their own revenue from it. Doesn't that the song Cool Kids by Echo Smith that I thought I'd use as a theme song for Cool Kids Table for Living My Ass Off, that will not, you cannot play that won't air. They won't allow that anywhere in the globe to be able to play. So there's licensing shit like that. And so I mean, at the end of the day, it's very doable, because it's not like it's Napster anymore. I mean, they've totally figured out how to generate revenue along the way, but they've also figured out that, okay, there's no ROI here. Like, we're not going to have a team full of people in a room typing up cease and desist letters to a dude that's like playing the song once an hour, but he's got no one listening. Right. So they're like, okay, we're going to automate this and allow them to sort of submit. So that whole process is effectively taken care of. And the neat thing is you're only invoiced a lot of money when you make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that's no big deal.
So if you were to, like, say something happens and you blow up overnight and you go from 2 listeners to 2 million, you're not going to get hit with a bill, and you still had 2 million listeners with zero revenue.
Probably what I would do is I would limit it to countries.
Yeah,
because I mean, again, if and they actually care about that. So the IP, like how many IP address, how many people are listening from like Nebraska and that sort of thing, right? And there's always going to be VPN people in there. It's just like whatever, just like it's a summary. If I got to 2 million listeners and I could keep it at that, I would be able to generate an enormous amount of revenue. So the other thing too is that I want to do like those silly promotions that we would call them silly promotions in the United States, but I want to see if I can do them here and how it would translate. Like if you give away like 1,000 baht every single day to people, because we call that buying our listeners, by the way, in the US. Would that work here? Like, would people actually listen at the top of the hour?
Yeah, I don't know.
How does their behavior exist
1,000
here?
baht, maybe,
yeah. But then again, it's internet, right? So I mean, you don't pay 4 60-second spots in a row.
Yeah.
You can do that in terrestrial radio, but you can't do that in the internet.
It'll be interesting to see how it works out. I mean, I'm excited for just the guy's voice gets you excited.
Oh God, I know. I mean, that's the point, right? And I gotta change the songs that are on there. I mean, obviously, right now it's just simply a jukebox that I'm just sort of love it. I'm just messing with it. But I also want to figure out. Okay, so I got my voiceover guy who's in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Yep.
So if I ask him to do something, what's the turnaround time?
Yeah.
And based on like, I'm not paying him that much, and it's kind of like a hobby for me, and it's a hobby for him. He kind of digs it. I mean, he got COVID in the middle, and I was like, he's like, yeah. Then the new year hit, and I got all these liners. I gotta, I say, go for it, dude. You don't need to deal with my stuff. But if I have a great idea, can I get that voiced in 24 hours? Well, not right now. It'd be ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, but I also want to figure out like one of the things I do want to do, and I know it's like totally past my bedtime, probably even past your bedtime, is go to some of the nightclubs. I want to see what like people do when they're listening to music. I didn't realize this. He gave me an amazing nugget of information, Eric. People don't dance at nightclubs here.
Wow.
I didn't realize that. Right? Exactly.
What do they do?
Stand around, socialize with their friends, drink, hang out, but it's not like, I mean, it's basically like, hey, dude, how much dancing did we do at the junior high dances?
Sure, yeah.
But it's like that here. It's not because of embarrassment. Oh my God, if I ask her to dance, she says no, what happens? It's not that. But I didn't realize that. So I really want to see like the vibe, because one could argue that if they're all just doing that and you're not paying attention to the music and it's in the background, then that's what they're used to. They're used to a background soundtrack. They don't give a shit that, oh my God, I haven't heard Highway to Hell in forever. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Or I haven't heard, California Dream or whatever. And it's like, wow, I haven't heard a Beatles song in forever. That really sounds good next to Avicii or whatever, right? So I really want to see that experience. I mean, I'm pretty confident that you and Jib do not listen to the radio ever.
Never.
Sitting downstairs, or even like iHeartRadio, or you listen to YouTube.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm either like watching a video, or sometimes I'll listen to Spotify. Like, especially if I'm cutting fabric and I want to like, whatever, I'll put on like a Wu-Tang mix or something.
But that's the point.
MF Doom.
You'll be like, I'm going to do this. It's effectively on demand.
Yeah.
And that is not what a 24-hour live streaming radio station can do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it might just be fun. And the whole part of it will be the interesting research that I do along the way to realize that the only way I'm going to make money with it is to sell the goddamn domain name.
Probably.
And shut everything off. And stop paying David Lee for his 95 testicles.
Anyway, with that, 95 testicles, I think we're going to wrap it up. Oh, guys, don't forget, if you weren't here at the beginning, I mentioned I will be rebranding my own channel from Dana Blue into Idea Studio.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. Idea Studio.
So I bought ideastudio.xyz.
XYZ, I love it.
So, but the channel will just be called Idea Studio. You'll be able. So the next, I think I'll do a live stream tomorrow. You'll see that come up as Idea Studio.
Very nice.
I'll change all the graphics and stuff tonight.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I outsource that. Yeah. I get a David Lee for that.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
DUN done. Yeah. Love hanging with you, dude.
Indeed, up top. But we gotta double those up top for next time.
Big time. Maybe we should
get a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you for chilling. Oh, I saw Mariano just popped in.
Oh my God! What up, Germany? How you doing, buddy? Good morning to you.
So are you down for Saturday?
Oh yeah.
You're back in the swing of things.
I mean, yes. I mean, I put this in my calendar for the next basically year,
forever,
months ago.
Yeah.
Right. So Wednesday and Saturday. So as far as I know, I mean, there's no reason. If I can't make it because I'm in pain, I'm going to be really pissed. We need to figure out a solution to that. So yeah, absolutely. In red.
Awesome.
No big whoop.
All right, guys. That's it for us. We'll see you back on Saturday, and hopefully we'll start recording again this year, get some audio out.
Yeah.
Until next time, Stay strange.
Boom. Peace.